Stacy's. I'm going to put my thumb on top of her hand. She's putting her thumb on top of mine. We're going to go 1, switch positions, 2, 3. Then pull your thumb all over. You're going to try to pin my thumb. I'm going to try to pin yours. Okay, ready? Watch my hands. They never leave my wrist. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. You went for the head fake. Don't go for the head fake. Now stop right there. She's representing you. We're going to give her another shot. Let's encourage her. Okay. This will count. Okay, ready? Your history lady. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. We'll go for the head fake. Oh! Well done. Good job. Thank you very much. Here, I'll work alone. Okay, good. Now, let me check for my wallet. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to turn to a buddy or a budette. Everybody get a thumb wrestling partner. Everybody, best 2 out of 3. Everybody, partner up right here. Best 2 out of 3. Ready. Ready. Get set. Best 2 out of 3. Ready, go. Okay, stop, unhook, stop, unhook. Let go. 2 people at this table just got engaged. Stop. Okay, I draw your attention to the PowerPoint. Stacy, with your help, we've illustrated what you're about to grow through today. Everybody grows through stages. You grow through stages. Your company does. Your clients do. When I said, how many of you do not know how to play a game, several of you raised your hand. At that exact moment in time, you're in the first stage of growth where you didn't know you didn't know. When you don't know you don't know, we call that unconsciously incompetent. Psychologists call these happy people. Right before our very eyes, you came up here and said, I'm going to grab your hand. She said, wait a minute, I know I don't know how to do that. And she moved to the second level where she became consciously incompetent. When you know you're not very good at something, you become consciously incompetent. Folks, this is where I lose salespeople. Because I hire good people that may be from an IT background. They may be from a teaching background. They may be from a similar background, but they come into my organization, there are things that they're not very good at, and they hit their head against the wall, and after a while they stop doing the activity, and they stop hitting the wall. The wall is still there. Folks, it's okay to be at stage 2. It's not okay to stay at stage 2. The reason you're here, if you need to manage your database better, if you need to wow them with excellent service, if you need to know how to generate leads and prospect, this is the place for you. Don't go from here unchanged. We get to stage 2 and we beat ourselves up. 3 things happen. Number 1, our motivation for the task leaves. Number 2, our frustrations get real high. And the third thing you do to yourself, I do to myself, we chip away at our self-confidence. We start to doubt ourselves. Maybe I should have stayed in coaching. I should have stayed in teaching. I should have. Don't do that. Who's your worst critic? You are, unless you're married. Marriage is grand, divorce 400 grand. So what happens, it's okay to be there, don't stay there. And the second time, Stacy, you pinned my thumb because you became consciously confident. You know that you know. You can deliberately make your way through an activity. The 4th stage is a stage we're all striving for. We're so good at what we do, we don't know it, we become unconsciously competent. Athletes call it the zone. When you're in the zone, you don't know it. You look over your shoulder when you finish. You said, man, I was good, Terry. I hit it. While you were in the moment. Well, my problem is, I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm not to that 4th stage yet. But I'm excited about that, you see, because October 2018, I'm still growing. My greatest victories are ahead of me. Whether you've been here 2 months, 4 years, or 24, some of you have told me you've been in this business, your greatest victories are ahead of you. We're going to present some people to you today that allow you to take it to that next level. And it may be incremental. You don't leapfrog stages. So pay attention, take notes, and I think, Rita, we've got you up here. If you look at page 5, you'll see Rita's journey. So in your workbook, Rita is a proved professional. She's with Core Training. She's out of Orlando. She's walked the talk. She's done what you're asking to do. Prospecting, listen up, prospecting. Pressure selling is caused by a lack of prospects. Great lesson to learn. You're about to learn how to do that. Help me welcome Rita Casey.
Good morning. All right, how's everybody doing today? Fantastic. First of all, I'd like to give a big round of applause to Mike Cooksey and all the people at Mid-America Mortgage for putting on such an amazing event. So let's give them a hand. So anyway, I'm so excited to be here. It's funny, I'm back in Dallas when I used to come here before when I had my first career. So I was in restaurant management. And you have headquarters here you had them for Steak and Ale and also for TGI Fridays. How many people had a career before real estate? Well, I love the restaurant business. I love serving customers. I liked, the unexpected, always working on your feet. What I didn't like were the hours and all the stress. So I said, I need a new career. I think I'll go into real estate. So I made that move, and I knew though when I got into real estate, I had some great mentors in the restaurant business. I thought, I have got to find somebody to mentor me or a coach. I need to learn as much as I can so I can hit the ground running. Well, I found my way to a group called Buy Referral Only, Joe Stump, and this is back at a time when Brian Buffini, I'm sure y'all have heard of Brian Buffini, he was a realtor, at Joe Nego, and I met a gentleman called Rick Ruby. And we all went through that program together, and as we were being coached and motivated on how to sell, Rick found that as he was helping realtors, that they were great at selling, but they didn't have any money. Sound familiar? I was there. We're so focused when we get in the industry because we want to win the award or, for me, win the umbrella, and then you go home and your husband's wondering, where's the check, okay? So it was very awakening, and Rick said, you know what, I've got a great vision. I want to start a coaching company, and we're going to be different. We're going to be an elite coaching company, but we're going to help realtors to teach them from the time the lead comes in until that person becomes a customer, a client, and then the check comes and it lands in your savings account. A little bit different, because most people don't teach money. So at the core, am I getting feedback? Are y'all okay? Thank you. I think she's working on my volume. How's that? Much better. Thank you, Kendra. Whoop. So we're different because we teach you that. Because it's so important. Don't you want to know when you're out there working hard every day and you're doing activities that at the end of the day, the week, the month, that you're actually going to wind up with money in your account, pay your bills, pay your taxes, and build money to retire? Anybody want to eventually retire from real estate? So that's why we started the core training. And the great thing about our coaching company is when we first started, there were 4 coaches. It was the 4 partners. There were 2 realtors and 2 lenders, and we did the coaching. Well, we've been in business 18 years, so we've all had 2 jobs for that long, and now we have 48 coaches. We have 450 level 3 members who are held highly accountable that have absolutely taken these systems and structure and blown them up. And you've got the good fortune today to hear from 2 of them. Kendra Cook, who's now gone from a student to a head coach to running the real estate division, and Dayton Schrader. So our realtors in the program have come in making, 150, and when I talk make, we talk net at the core, and that's after expenses, anywhere from 150 to 200. We've actually broken the glass ceiling at over 2 million. You're going to hear from Dayton Schrader, who will sell over 650 homes in net over 2 million this year, working 50 hours a week. Does that sound like some great opportunity for you in there? Okay, yes, so let's get started, and we're going to have a shift today because our purpose is to take you from real estate salesperson to teach you how to think like a real estate business person, all right? So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing you're going to look in your handouts, and we have the first form that we're going to talk about, which is the greatness tracker. So the thing about our industry, they call us independent agents, there's no real structure in it, and we do like 900 different kinds of things. Isn't that part of the confusion? There's so many activities. We want to make sure that you stay in your number one job. And what would that be? Selling? All right, so selling, we've got to go out, meet people, we've got to prospect. I know you get so excited about the prospecting, but that is what you got to do. This is your business and you need to make it known. So on the Greatness Tracker, this single form will help you double your leads. And why? Because it's going to teach you that you're going to be able to see the activities that you're doing or not doing, and then you'll know why when you have a week that you work really hard, you're away from your family, you're exhausted, and you look down and go, wow, did I take any listings? Do I have any buyer contracts? And there's maybe one or none. You ever been there, wonder where did it go? Well, the key is making sure you do these activities every day because that will grow your leads now and in the future. So as your market shifts right now, right? You're shifting. When there's a change in the market and your leads are down, how many? Their leads are down right now. You need more leads. You're going to see the weaknesses in your business, and we're going to make it a system so they happen automatically. So on your Greatness Tracker, the first thing in the middle of the form, you're going to see great phone calls. Now that doesn't mean that you call and leave a lovely detailed message, okay? You've got to have a one-on-one engaged conversation. You may have to dial 5 to talk to somebody. And that phone call needs to be a money-making activity. So it could be talking to a potential buyer or a potential seller. Those you record, and that's only 10 great conversations a day. So when you use that form, make sure you write the name in, because then you remember who you called. Do you ever have such a blinding week you can't even remember who you talked to last week? Yes. Also on that form, when you talk to people, what do you have to ask for? Business. Wow. This is what you do. Don't you want to go out and help people? This is what you hear a lot. Why are you in the business? Because I love helping people. Why aren't you calling them and ask if they need help? You are not going to be 100%, you're the one for them. The no's are okay, but you're looking for those people that want your help, that you show them the enthusiasm and the passion for what you do. So when you ask for help, you take that name that you wrote in as a great conversation, and you're going to circle it. So now you can look at the end of the day, did I actually talk to 10 people about business, about a potential referral partnership, or a listing, or a buyer, and then you can even ask did you ask them for business? So now you know the activities there. Now after a phone call, what's the purpose of a phone call? It's usually to get an appointment. So we have face-to-face. So we count our face-to-faces because you need to be in front of people. Remember, it's you, Inc., and you're in charge of not only building new leads, but also building new relationships. So we've got to get those face-to-face appointments. If we want to take those face-to-face and even go deeper, because you have past clients you need to nurture and have relationships with, right? Because aren't they great referral sources for you? So now we have break breads. Who all could you break bread with to deepen a relationship? Past clients, business people, right? Vendors. Even the buyers you take out, have a download with a cup of coffee. Because isn't it more personal when we share food or drink with somebody? Now it's a relationship. It's not just, as somebody mentioned earlier when we were discussing, the pushy salesperson. All right, so the other activities are a handwritten thank you note. Sounds simple, but it's not easy. Easy is sending an email, right? So isn't it funny, I've been here a long time on this earth, I guess, that we go backwards and say, wow, a handwritten note makes such a big difference. How many people have gotten a handwritten note in the last week or two? Did it make an impression? Oh my gosh. When I bought a car, or when I got a handwritten note. I get beautiful notes from Miss Kendra all the time. She's so thoughtful. How nice if you want to stand out and separate yourself. You think, wow, that simple thing, a handwritten note. We're also going to talk about events, and we're going to go into that a little bit deeper later. How many of you attend networking events? Excellent. It's your job to be known out in the business world, and you're the one that goes out, engages in the conversation, passes out your business card, and then come back and write that thank you note to make that real impression. We also track, how many listings and how many buyer contracts. So think about filling that form out every day and knowing exactly what you did. How's that make you feel? Huh? What'd you say? Sad, okay. First it's a little fear like, oh my gosh, I felt better when I thought I was just busy. And now I gotta go, oh, but I didn't really do anything I'm supposed to. Because you're too busy over there going, I have got to do this flyer because nobody else is gonna do it like me. I have got to put that listing in because it's just not gonna be right, girl, right? Listen, people, if you want to earn more, save more, and give more, you're going to have to stay in your lane and do what you are best at. So part of this, shifting from from real estate salesperson to business person, is letting go. I said letting go. That's a little fearful? Don't be. The great thing is now you don't have fear around wondering, why is my business down? Why are my leads down? You go simply back to the paper. We make it very tactical as a business person and say, am I doing the activities that generate the results? So the question is, are you willing to play the game? Fill out the greatness tracker? Do you really want to know what you need to do more of? Yes. Did everybody have coffee this morning? Yes. Yes, we want to make it better. So this is how we do that, by working less, being more efficient. Now, along with this, you're probably saying, okay, so who all do I call and what's going on? How many of you need some time management? Oh my gosh, so you have all these, yes. There's so many activities and fires and disruptions that at the core, as Rick would say, we keep it kindergarten simple. We work on systems, we follow schedules, we stay as regimented as we can in an industry that's very chaotic. And I know some of you may think, wow, they're going to have me so systematized, it's going to be boring. Like, I like being the independent agent. I like being free. Well, you're going to be free and broke, or you can be organized and retired, okay? So I'm telling you, and how many times have y'all been in your business, and as we come to the end of the year, you worked really hard, and you're trying to set goals, and you go, wow, how am I going to do more next year? There's no more of me to get. I got no idea. Anybody feel that way? Well, the great news is that's what the core teaches. We bring systems and structure to what you do so you can then have a vision and you see, wow, if I stay here in this lane and I do this, I actually can do more business and I'm going to have a life too. All right. So here's the form. At the week at a glance, you'll see the theme days across the top. Who to call and when. So we bring structure to it. Now that doesn't mean if you're in a hot market or low inventory and you've got to jump on a buyer, you may have to talk to them faster, but this gives you a measurement of what to do so you don't forget any of the groups of customers and clients you work with. So on Monday, and we're going to go into a little more detail in just a minute on each of these, you're going to call 12 of your top 50 VIPs. And we're going to go into detail about who are the VIPs in just a minute. So we have a theme day. So picture yourself, you're now this business person. Instead of just a salesperson, you go into your office that morning, you have a list of 12 of your top 50 because you already came up with a list, it's in the database, you print it out, and you get directly on the phone and you call those 12 people and touch base with them. Tuesday is status calls. Yes, you will call all of your buyers and sellers that are in process, giving them feedback and staying in touch. On Wednesdays, we call hot leads and old leads. And then Thursday, past clients, the people that always seem to get dropped off the call list because there's so much urgent business going on. And then on Friday, we're going to tap into a great opportunity on business people and builders. So again, this gives you consistent communication with all the types of people that know you and you work with. And this way, listen, if there's a secret in real estate, it's just doing it consistently. whether it's your calls or your touches, you will separate yourself from the competition by having a system to consistently communicate as one of the biggest complaints we have in real estate. So let's talk a little deeper. Okay, Monday, let's talk about the VIPs. These are people that are very important to your business. Can be business people, referral partners, vendors, people that are advocates for you, and they don't necessarily have bought or sold a house with you. What does that look like, Rita? Well, for me, this is a special month because it's October and it's breast cancer month, and this is my 23rd anniversary being cancer-free. So, very exciting. So I had a lady that mentored me. She ran one of the hospitals in Orlando, Ann Peach, and lovely lady, made a big impact, but I didn't stay in touch with her. She wasn't a buyer or seller. And so, years later, I read in the Business Journal that Ann was getting promoted to second in command at MD Anderson in Orlando. And I went, oh, I know her. I need to call her. She did such a great, mentoring for me and helped me so much. I need to give back and help her with her physicians that she's recruited. So I called her up and had that very conversation. I said, Ann, I would love to, when you bring physicians in to tour Orlando or you're looking to recruit them, I will take such great care of them because you did that for me during my process. A corporate account was founded. Okay? Ann has never bought or sold her house. I mean, she bought it, she's never sold it. I just saw her about 2 weeks ago, and that account still moves on, right? Made a donation to one of the other hospitals in Orlando. They were building an Eden Spa for women with cancer, so I made a nice donation to them to help with it, and then the people that run the charitable part of the hospital said, Rita, what can we do for you? I said, you know what? I would love to help you recruit great physicians here by giving a relocation tour. So I would just like an interview with one of your physician recruiters. We had 3 interviews, and we've had that account for over 6 years. These are opportunities, and these are the people that can go on your list. Your referral partners, your vendors. So right now, while we're talking about this, I'd like you to go to your notes section and write down 3 people that you, just from hearing my conversation, 3 people you can put down on your VIP list. Write that down real quick. Okay? Now you've started it. Your goal is 50. You may start with just these 3. And at the core, we have specific touch points where we touch these people monthly. One of the great things to do to start out with is just to make the call, let them know they're on your VIP list. You're going to be in touch with them every month. See if you can help them in any way in their business. And then it's a great opportunity to learn more about them by just going through the Ford script. Kendra, can I role play with you? Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hi, Kendra. It's Rita Casey over at Stockworth Realty. How are you?
I'm great, Rita. How are you?
Oh, good. Listen, first of all, I just want to thank you again for being such a great referral person for me. You've been an advocate of the business, and I just want to tell you that, look, I got to put you on my VIP list, so I want to make sure I stay connected with you. We're going to do some fun things every month, and I'd love you to be a part of it. Is that okay?
Sure.
Fantastic. Well, listen, while we're on the phone, I just want to find out, how are Greg and Corey? How's the family doing?
Corey's good, junior in college, if you can believe that. I look so young to have a junior, right?
Oh my gosh, you do. That is so good, girl. I love that. And are you still working over at Lockheed Martin? I wasn't sure.
Yes, still there.
Oh wow, yeah, I read you guys were really expanding, so that's awesome. And listen, I know we're going into the holidays, so you guys got any fun plans for that time of the year coming up here in December?
No, we like to stay close. My parents are getting older, so enjoying every moment at home. How about you?
I love it. We're going to do the same thing. So we're going to have a little get together. So I'm going to have a little party for all the VIPs. I'd love for you to join me in December. The invite will be coming.
We'll put that on our calendar as soon as we get it, Rita. Thanks so much.
Fantastic. Oh, listen, one last question. I always like to ask this to people. New Year's coming up. What's one resolution? One big goal for you in 2019?
One more half marathon. I think I got one more in me, so.
One more. Sounds good. Well, listen, thanks so much for your time today, Kendra. Listen, I'm going to be in touch, so anything I can help you with, let me know.
Will do. Thanks, Rita, for calling.
Okay, is that a hard call? No. Sometimes do we not call because we have no idea what to say? So the great part about the fourth conversation is just have that in front of you. You're not really having the conversation, you're interviewing them. And while you're interviewing them, you're taking that information and you're putting it in their contacts in the database. So now you're building a deeper relationship with those people. And when you call back, you can pick up again. Hey, Kendra, sorry you missed the happy hour. How was your holiday? Right? Everybody do that? Okay, cool. All right, I want to take 2 minutes, and I want y'all to write the 4 down, and you're going to partner up in groups of 2, and you're going to, now listen, this is only going to be like a 2-minute thing, okay? Go through the 4 conversation really quick with your partner. The person with the shortest hair you partner with goes first, okay? All right, go. We got less than 2 minutes. Conversation go? Would that make it easier having a script? Raise your hand. That made it easier having a script. Okay, that's an easy call. That's an easy call for your VIPs to really get a great contact information. It's also great for past clients. We can use it for a lot of different things. The other one is the annual review, and that is making sure you're calling VIPs, past clients, and finding out if they'd like an update on the current value of their property with all the changes in the economy. You find most people would like a yearly update. That's something else you can offer if you don't know how to reconnect with past clients and VIPs, is using the annual review. All right? So next, what are we going to do on Tuesday? Tuesday is status update day. This is a great listing tool when you go on a listing to let the client know. Every Tuesday, I'm going to check in with you. I may not have a lot to update you on for that week, Mr. and Ms. Seller, but I'm going to call you. So if little questions come up along the way, just write them down. If it's not urgent, we'll talk about it on Tuesday. And that helps to give them a way to make sure they're going to talk to you without all those reactive calls. So we'll cut down on your incoming customer calls that way. It also separates you, because that's still one of the biggest complaints in real estate, is consistent communication and feedback from the agents. So having status update is so critical, and it's also a great time, especially with people in process, to ask for referrals. How many of you program for referrals in the consultation? Wow, missing a big opportunity. You're going to hear from Dayton, who has, is it 80 or 88%? 8%? 88% of his business, of his 650 homes that he closes, comes from referrals. But you gotta ask, okay? So you program yourself and your team. When people give you a compliment, oh, Rita, listen, thank you guys are doing a great job. What's our first inclination? Oh, thank you, that's what we're supposed to do anyway. No! Grab that opportunity, say, thank you so much. I appreciate you noticing it. And who else do you know like you? Because we love serving you. Can we help? Just like you talked about in the listing consultation. So Tuesday updates. And remember, when you ask for that referral, circle it on that great conversation. Wednesday is when we call hot leads and old leads. Now, hot leads, you may have to call more frequently depending on the market, but we want to make sure. And never, don't lose those old leads. How many times do you say, man, this year I'm going to really make sure I never lose a lead? Never want to lose it. So at the core, we do have a form that we use. You can even use your greatness tracker. Some people are not going to be ready right at this minute, so you've got to have a way to stay in touch with them. Have them on a form so you can call them back. So when Wednesday rolls around, pull out that old list of leads and say, wow, I've got to dial them and talk to them until I know if they're going to still be in the listing or selling process or out. So it's kind of a game, and that's what you do to make sure you take care of that lead. And Mike, Mr. Cooksey. Some of these have scripts on them. You might want to, later you can print those out or have your team give those to them so they have all the scripts that we have up here. Thursday, your favorite pastime. Okay. Why we neglect our clients. Do we go to the closing table and tell them, wow, Mr. and Ms. Seller, it has been fantastic working with you, and I just want you to know that after this closing, I'm going to stay in touch with you. I'm here for you for whatever you need, and then you never call them. Does that happen to y'all? Yeah. And then, a year or two goes by and you go, oh, wow, I really should call these people. And then you're like, oh, wow, I can't. What will they say? Right? They're going to be upset. Huh? Yes, we're going to have that conversation right now with Miss Kendra Cook. Exactly what you said. Ring, ring. Oh, hold on. She's got a...
Hello?
Hey, Kendra. This is Rita Casey at Stockworth Realty Group. I sold your house like 3 years ago. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Rita?
Well, Kendra, I'm feeling pretty bad. I feel so bad because I told you at closing I was going to stay in touch with you, and I haven't. So first thing I want to do is I just want to apologize to you.
Wow, Rita, that's great. Yeah, I wondered what happened to you. Haven't heard from you.
I know, Kendra, it's so my fault, and I just want you to know that I am just going to be better about staying in touch with you, but I had to call and apologize and just get that off my heart. So thank you for taking the call. Let me ask you, so how's the house?
We still love it. We are getting ready to replace our deck, but we painted it. You should come see it. It looks like a completely different house.
Oh my gosh, I would love to come by. Do you need anybody? Do you already have a contractor? Do you need any referrals?
Not right now. I think we've already picked one, but I'm always changing stuff, so I'll definitely keep that in mind now that we've reconnected.
Well, I definitely would love to come. So how about sometime next week, either Wednesday or Thursday after school, 3:30 or 4, good for you?
That'd be great. Wednesday's better than Thursday.
Let's book Wednesday, and just, I can't wait to see it, reconnect with you, and I'm not gonna, drop that ball again. I'm gonna stay in touch with you, and we've got a client party coming up in Christmas. We'd love to have you guys come to the movie. So thank you so much for taking the call. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for reaching out, Rita. See you Wednesday.
All right, see you then. Okay, so yes, you've got to have that call, and you've got to be able to apologize and move forward. Because isn't that how you feel? But then you've got to have a system in place in order to do that. And the simple form of who do you call on a theme day is going to help you do that. And you then, again, go in your office. You can, we use the alphabet. So the first week in January, we print everybody whose last name starts with an A. The second week, a B, C. 26 letters of the alphabet, 52 weeks. You'll call your clients twice a year. And they are such a great, you did so much work to take them from a lead to a customer to a client to a closing, and then you left them there. Okay? So, everybody commit to making that call? Then you get back on the fourth call with them. The next one's easy too, and you move forward with that. Friday, this is the big opportunity. This is business people and builders. How many of you call on business people? Okay. You're a bit, okay, remember, we're in that frame. We're not just a salesperson now, we're a business person, right? So if I come into your area and I go to your local shopping center where you go to the cleaners, go to the grocery store, get coffee, I should be able to go in and they should at least know who you are. Would that happen? Yes? No? Let's think about this. It occurred to me when the guy that in the cleaners bought one of my properties, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, you clean all the clothes of the people that I want to sell all the houses, so you and I got to figure out a better way to work together and get our names out there. Does that make sense? So look for connectors. You need to be known in the business area. A great way to do that is for you to get involved. Like we have in Southwest Orlando, they have a big, food and wine thing out in the shopping center, all the vendors. Get on a committee where you have to go collect Auction items. Now you have that good reason, so there's no fear, to go into the business owners, meet them and ask them for something they want to donate for the event. There's always a way to make it easy and stay out of your comfort zone and do that. But think of it this way. Sometimes this is the problem when I said think. Sometimes you try to figure out, if I go meet Betty over at, the dry cleaners, how in the world is she going to help me? That's where your mind's going first, because it's trying to talk you out of taking the action. Well, stop thinking, okay? Because what happens is, if you don't just take that step out of your comfort zone, you have no way of creating an opportunity that will show up now or later. That's what happened over my career. If I didn't take that step, I would not have the opportunity. And you don't need to figure out how it's all going to work out. You just need to make sure those people know you. So if I go into the cleaners and I meet Betty, we exchange cards and say, Betty, I love your cleaners. Can I buy you coffee sometime? I'd like to know how you run your business. It's up there, right? We have coffee. I add her to my mailing list. Now when I list or sell something, she gets a copy of that postcard. Now Sue walks in and says, Betty, I live in this area, but I don't really know a good realtor. Who do you know? Wow, I met this great gal, Rita Casey. She came in, met her, and I get a card from her every month. She's listing and selling stuff all the time. So I have not only made a connection, I've given them a script of how to refer me. You didn't figure that out, but this is what happens behind the scenes. And this is how you broaden the people that know you. So go call on business people, because they can absolutely change your business. Okay? Biggest call I ever made was when the Magic were hiring a new coach, and I just wanted to meet the coach, and I didn't know anybody in the organization, so my husband had a restaurant. I figured somebody in the restaurant he knows somebody that knows somebody. He gave me a name of a guy named Randy to call. Randy gave me Alex's name. He was like a PR guy, and I made that phone call just wanting to just kind of, meet that coach, and I thought, I can't let an opportunity to go by, even though it probably, who knows if it'll happen or not. So I dropped off a relocation package, and about 2 weeks later I got a call from a gentleman that said, can you help my friend buy a house? And I went, absolutely. Who's your friend? He said, Chuck Daly. He's one of the Hall of Fame coaches. He's that used to coach the Pistons. I used to be such a fan of basketball. Oh my gosh, and I'm sure the people on the other end kept going, who is this person? In fact, one of the owners of the team said, how did you get involved? Well, that service, that step out of my comfort zone, gave us it's been 19 years. The guy that I called Alex Martin, who was the PR person, now is the COO of the Orlando Magic. And the account still exists with Julie Bettesini, who took over my team. That's a 19-year relationship, just because I didn't think and I just stepped forward. How many times are you all sitting on connectors, but you're not stepping forward? And you're leaving a great opportunity. So I want to make sure you get out and meet business people. One of my great referral partners was a personal shopper. How perfect, right? Neiman Marcus came to Orlando. I got referred to the general manager, and she said, Rita, we've got to get you a personal shopper. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to sell a lot of real estate. I have to buy. And Lynn referred us over $5 million worth of business as a personal shopper, because who do they know? They know people that come in and buy clothes. So think differently about who you're calling on. It's not a lot of activity. You have business journal events you can go to, sit with people you don't know, add them again, meet them, thank you note, add them to your mailing list. And builders, same thing. The other great account that had a big impact on my business was I was out looking at inventory, and I called up one of the builders who was a female, and I said, I'd love to see your houses. I'd like to know, what you do differently. So we met, we became friends, and I was thinking, well, maybe this will be a corporate account. But Linda moved into an exclusive community in Orlando called Isleworth. Well, they have on-site people, so I knew I wasn't going to get her new homes as a listing agent. But then she called me and referred me a professional golfer that was selling his house in order to move into Isleworth on the home she was building. That one referral expanded over years. I helped that golfer. He referred me to another golfer. They referred me to the LPGA and to the agents. So between that and the Magic, I never set out to help all these types of folks, but it's only because I went out and just kept meeting people and encouraging and creating opportunities. So how many of you are willing to step out of your comfort zone in order to change your business? Don't think about the result, just do it, right? The last thing we're going to work on is, okay, Rita, I need to be prepared if I'm out there meeting and networking with business people. So how many of you have like your 3-minute elevator speech or your 1-minute speech where you can actually are prepared when you meet somebody new to have that conversation? So go to your handouts and pull out. You should have a place where we can work on your elevator speech. Do you see that? Okay. Now this is Ken Horrister. His is my name. Hi, my name is Ken Horrister. I own Texas Ranches for Sale. Our office is located between Bourne and Comfort, where we sell the Texas lifestyle properties in the south and west areas of the hill country. I pride myself on my effective marketing to attract buyers and being a great negotiator. And the ideal customer for me would be someone interested in buying or selling a property within a 5-hour radius of the Bourne area. Here's my card, and I will follow up with you to schedule a time to talk or meet for coffee. I look forward to meeting with you in the future. So it doesn't have to be this long, but the key points you'll see on the parts of the elevator speech is, first of all, on your form, it's going to ask you, who are you? So write that down, because we're going to write these out right now, so you leave here with that elevator speech, and you're prepared to go network. Next, write down what company are you with, and then where your office is located. And then we're going to get into what is your experience in your bank. What is your particular niche? For me, I worked at Stockworth Realty Group. We were a boutique real estate company that focused on the luxury market in Southwest Orlando. So if you know of someone who has a home on the lake or the golf course or in Southwest Orlando, here's my card. Please give me their name and number. I'll be happy to serve them. So what is your bank? What is your niche? If you are newer in the business, you can also use maybe what your company is, your company's niches. You can use that as you develop yours. And then what is your need? Because remember, if we don't ask for business, we're not moving forward. You have to ask. People, when they're selling or buying their large investment, they want to know that you're confident and you're passionate about what you do. It's not so much about the experience all the time. That's why you've got to make that impression and always ask for business. You want somebody that wants to help you, right? All right, so you've got the parts of the elevator speech now. So what you can do is just take a minute. Let's put that into your first draft of just what does it flow like. So just put that into a sentence form. And this is something that you can go back and look at and tweak. Start. So we've got our elevator speech. We're starting our VIP list. Are you getting a feel for how we're systematizing activities in what you do? Right? So that's what the core does. We're bringing structure to this industry, and if you work in a more structured fashion by doing activities that are your number one job, you're going to double your leads. So if you think about it real quickly as the market is changing, and you say, well, I need more leads, well, let me ask you, are you calling on business people, builders? You're going to events? Are you prospecting every day? Do you see the opportunity based on what you're not doing right now? Yes? Well, the great thing about it, Mid-American Mortgage can also help you. If you need some help, whether it's shooting a video in the beginning, whether it's working on these, they will have follow-up lunch and learns. You have great educator partners that can help you because it's time to change. The minute you stop learning and changing and getting more systematized, you fall backwards because this market is moving and a lot about it. There's a lot of dynamics. And there's so much opportunity that if I leave you with one thought, it's please take action. Don't think about it, because as you go through your career, it will pay off. And if you work with these systems, we're going to have you working less, earning more, saving more, and giving more to charity. So thank you so much for your time.
There will be a question and answer session toward the end of the program once we get all three of the folks up here. So if you have some questions, you don't see them at the break, please ask that question during the Q&A. One of the things I love about selling, it's an individual sport. If I work hard, eventually I'll be paid hard. And I love the part that you need to have your business, not as a salesperson, but as a business person who sells. One of the great parts of selling to me is individually, if I work hard, good things happen when I work hard. Yet at the same time, you've never been successful in a vacuum. You've got people around you. You've got people around you today. So core training, go to school on what they're saying. Mike Cooksey's group, find out what Mid-America does, how they can help you. You have resources available. We've got a resource coming up now. Dayton, I think I've got you up here. Right here. Interesting guy. San Antonio, Texas. He's been doing this for 36 years, 1982, using Louisiana math, 36 years. And understand that you can learn a lot through experience, but the tuition is really high. If you can learn from other people's experiences, their teachings, then perhaps you can compress that learning curve. So here's a guy that's done it, continues to do it. Very proud of his family, his daughter, his church, his involvement in Rotary, his involvement in other things within the community. And one thing I can say about Dayton is that behind every successful man, there's a surprise mother-in-law. Dayton Schrader, you're up.
Well, good morning, everybody. First of all, I got to tell you, thank you very much for coming out and braving the elements. You guys really know how to do a rain event. I mean, it's just been amazing, the deluge that you put up. And I got to thank Mike and your team, man. Thank you very much for filling up the room under these circumstances. That's very impressive. And just so you know, our philosophy at the core is giver's gain. We share everything. So any system, process, script, dialogue, anything that we've discussed or talked about today is available to you through Mid-America. So you talk to the LO that invited you to this event, and anything that you need is available through our concierge. They're clients of ours, and we want to help them grow their business. So instead of them just handing you a donut and saying, can I have a loan? They want to bring value to the relationship they have, help you grow your business, help you build a better practice, and be more than just a commodity loan officer. So if that resonates with you, if that makes sense, give them an opportunity to earn a greater share of your wallet. Refer them with value. They would really appreciate that. Don't just hand out 3 business cards. There's no value in that. Introduce them to one of your colleagues that you think might be a great fit. Not the drama queen down the hall, but somebody who's a legit producer that you think might be a good match for them. And really take care of them and protect them. I know you got a lot of erosion with builders here. There's a lot of fighting over commissions and things, or not commissions, but mortgages and things like that with the builders. Try to protect them. If they're referring you and taking good care of you, do your best to protect them with the builders, and that would mean a lot to us. And so anyway, anything like I said we discuss or share or do, we're happy to share with you guys. So please take advantage of those resources. They're here to help you and help you grow your business. My story's kind of like Rita. I'm a few years behind her in the curve. I grew up in San Antonio, lived there since I was 3 years old, so that's home for me. Anybody from San Antonio? Anybody? A few? Yeah. What part of town?
At the northeast.
Okay.
21, 1604.
Got it. I'm Stone Oaks, Ontario area. Got it. So I lived there all my life. I went to Texas A&M University. Do you have any Aggies in the room? Yeah. All right. Well. All right. Cool. I flunked out of Texas A&M because I never cracked a book in high school. They said, son, you got to go. You can't stay here. You got to go. So I went back home with my tail between my legs. Probably one of the lowest points of my life. And I was talking to my high school golf coach, and I don't know what I'm going to do. And he said, go talk to my wife. She runs a real estate office. And I thought, okay, well, I got nothing else to do. So I went and talked to Yvonne, and she said, oh, Dave, you'll love real estate. And I said, really? And she said, no, you'll be really good at this. Sign here. And she slid this piece of paper in front of me. And I thought, well, again, I got nothing else to do. I might as well give it a shot. My grandfather had been in sales. So I wasn't a born salesman, but that was the only experience that I had. And so I thought, okay, well, at least that's commission, and I might be able to make something out of this. Well, of course, it's 1982. I'm 21 years old. All my friends are still in college. Interest rates are 16, 17%. I was too broke to go anywhere, and I was too dumb to do anything else, so I got my real estate license. The first house I sold was Super Bowl Sunday, 1982. Nobody else wanted to work that day, I was a low man. And I was probably another 60 or 90 days before I sold another house. And I struggled, and I struggled, and I struggled. But I was a learner, and I was a Zig Ziglar guy. And when you said Zig Ziglar, I got kind of misty about that, because I was a Zig Ziglar guy and a Tommy Hopkins guy, and I still have "See You" at the top, and I had him sign it. And it was 82, 83, 84. And so, anyway, I listened to those tapes that I couldn't afford, and I role played in the car, and I overcame objections, and I learned my scripts and dialogues and things like that, and I struggled, and I struggled, and I struggled. And if you remember, the Tax Reform Act of 1986, and the devaluation of the peso, and the oil crisis, and all that, San Antonio was going to dry up and blow away. I mean, it was brutal, and it was the perfect time to get married. So I tricked this girl into marrying me, and we're coming up on our 30th anniversary this Thanksgiving, and so, I really am a better salesperson than I look like. So anyway, I convinced her to marry me, and she said, "This is not working very well. I love you, but this is really not working very well." So I went back to UTSA, our local college, and they laughed at me because they saw my transcripts from A&M. So I went to SAC, San Antonio College, which we call San Pedro High, and I made up for all my transgressions at A&M. Went back to UTSA, they finally let me in, and I earned an accounting degree, but I kept selling real estate. Well, then things are starting to pick up a little bit. HEB relocated from Corpus Christi to San Antonio, and then we picked St. Louis's pocket and got Southwestern Bell to pick. Now Dallas since picked our pocket, but we picked St. Louis's pocket back in about '92. And so here comes Southwestern Bell and AT&T and Bell South and Pat Bell, and that was an incredible impact on San Antonio. And I'm starting to figure this out, and things are getting a little bit better, and I'm doing pretty good by San Antonio standards, which is about $3 to $5 million in sales. And then I heard a tape, and it was Joe Stone, and it was by referral only, and he talked about before, during, and after, and the reticular activator, and Fred the Head, and turbulence on the plane, and all these other metaphors, and it really helped me on my scripts and my dialogue and my process, and it just made perfect sense. The light goes on above my head, and I think that's the way I'm going to do it. I'm going to get a top producer, I'm going to be a by referral agent guy, no more phone duty, no more open houses, I'm going to take my home number off my business card. This is heresy now in the 90s. Take my home number off my business card, and I'm going to concentrate on my database. I'm going to squeeze the referrals out of them, love on them, no more advertising, no more nothing. And it actually worked. I mean, it really did. And I burned my ship on that beach in the mid-90s. And one of the tapes that I got in about 2000 was a guy named Rick Ruby. And he was the tape of the month, or the coach of the month for Joe Stone. And Rick was just ranting and raving. If you've ever heard him, you know what kind of a maniac he is, at least certainly back then. And realtors are broke. Realtors don't pay their taxes. Realtors are behind on their credit cards. And realtors don't have any money. Realtors don't get home when they say they're going to get home. And I thought, holy smokes, this guy's been reading my diary. I had been through all of that. I had been broke and below broke. And I had received certified letters from the IRS for not paying my tax. I finally made some money. Oops, forgot to pay the taxes. And so, been through all of it, maxed out on a credit card. It was brutal. I wasn't there at that time, but I had been there, and it was still very fresh in my mind. And I thought, this is what I need. I've passed the scripts and dialogue part of my career. I need structure, and I need a boss. And my broker wasn't going to be my boss. I was out producing him. My colleagues didn't care if I fell flat on my face or not. My competitors certainly didn't care. They'd love to see me go in flames. And so I wasn't getting any help from anybody, and I needed that boss. And Rick provided that opportunity. So I went to Houston, I met him, he came off stage, and I said, your message really resonated with me, I'm interested. He said, well, I'm getting ready to open up the core, which was Rita was one of the principals at the time, and 2 other people. And I said, I'm in, what do you need me to do, where do I sign? And I got involved in that program. And by then, I'm probably about a $10, $12 million producer, maybe $15 million on a good year. And my business exploded. It's been an 18-year journey. But it's exploded from 15 million to last year we did about $150 million in sales. We helped over 500 families buy and sell 600 houses in San Antonio. We grossed over $4 million in fees, and 88% of that was referred to me by somebody. I'm not a Boomtown guy, I'm not a Tiger League guy, I'm not a Zillow guy, I can't stand those people. And they're gonna take all of our money and then turn around and beat us over the head with it. And if you think I'm mistaken, just wait. So I'm a relationship guy, I'm a networker, I take care of my database. Not as good. Rita just exposed me on a couple of things when she talked about it, which is why I'm still in the coaching program and why I still have to do all the things I do to be a coach for this company. But we're way better at that than we used to be. We're continuing to get better and better at that every day. So my job today is to talk to you about your database. So who knows Jack Welch, GE, right? Business icon, brilliant man, ran an incredible company for many, many years, wrote several books. One of his all-time great quotes was, if you don't have a competitive advantage, pardon me? Anybody? Bueller? Anybody? Pardon me? If you don't have a get one, that's a good answer, but that's not the answer. If you don't have a competitive advantage, don't compete. If you don't have a competitive advantage, don't compete. So the flip side of that is, if you do have a competitive advantage, you've got to exploit it. And if you don't, you squander that opportunity. So now, where do you have a competitive advantage? Anybody. What group, constituency, network, population, demographic, where do you have a competitive advantage? Nobody has a competitive advantage in this room. That's brutal. That's so horrible. Where do you think you have a competitive advantage? Your sphere of influence. Very good. You guys are smart. The last couple of groups never got it. Oh, I'm a great negotiator. No, you're not better than all 25,000 other realtors in the Metroplex. Oh, I'm really great on Zillow. No, you don't have 500 reviews and 150 listings. You don't have a competitive advantage. Where an immigrant with a laptop can take your lunch money, you don't have a competitive advantage. You do have a competitive advantage in your database and your sphere of influence. People that you share values with, people that know you, like you, and trust you, people that you want to hang out with, people that want to see you prosper and that you're willing to help. Shared sacrifice is even better, but at the very least, shared values. Your friends, your neighbors, your family, your demographic population, people you go to church with, people you went to school with, people that you've got some history with. If you're not taking advantage of that, and I don't mean take advantage in a bad way, but we are in sales and we are here to make a living. Most of us have babies to feed. And so if you're not doing that, you're not doing yourself, your brokerage, your service, your family, for the time that you're spending away from them, you're not earning what you should in this business. And it's not unrealistic to make $200,000 or $300,000 or $400,000 in this business. I mean, it's really not that far-fetched if you're dialed in, if you take care of your database, if you take care of your VIPs, if you're intentional about it, and you show up and go to work every day. And that's extraordinary money in almost any marketplace. It's you look like a king in San Antonio for $250,000. Dallas might be a little bit faster paced, might cost you a little bit more, but I promise you, that is a boatload of money and more than almost any W-2 person you know makes, short of a doctor or a lawyer, somebody who's really established. That is a lot of money. And so depending on where you set your goal, what your ambition is, what your drive is, you can build a business around that, given whatever your lifestyle affords you, the time that you have, and how you want to build your business. But you've got to work on your database. So what does that look like? 3 essential elements. You got to mail to them every month. We mail 2 pieces, a letter of the heart, which I'll share one with you, one of the most impactful ones I ever sent, a letter of the heart, and an evidence of success. You're going to appeal to the left side and the right side of their brain. You're going to appeal to their emotion, and some people are, ultimately every decision is emotional, but you're going to appeal to the emotion, and you're going to demonstrate your professionalism and your expertise. And you've got to beat that drum over and over and over again to remind them, because they're in their own little world. They're oblivious to what's going on. And they don't really owe you anything. We think, I express it, are you kidding me? I should never lose a deal, ever. I've got as good a resume as anybody you'll ever meet in this business. 36 years, ton of designations, plaques like you can't. Who are my RE/MAX people? A few of you? 36 years with RE/MAX. They give you a plaque for anything at RE/MAX. It's all about the plaque, right? And I've got them all. I've got them all. And so you've got to take care of your database and your relationships. You've got to call. Rita spent some time on this, and that is your Thursday discipline. You've got to call your database and check in with them. And we struggle with that, and we didn't think we did a good job, and it didn't close on time, and the inspection didn't go the right way. We should have called them more, and we get caught up in our own junk, and why we're reluctant to hesitate. Folks, if you can't get over that, you're in the wrong business. You've got to make that phone call. They've gone on with their lives. They forgot all about you. They're in that house having a blast, making babies, having fun, creating memories. I mean, it's really a special place. And they haven't given you a second thought because you haven't given them a second thought. So pick up the phone, call them, ask them, what's going on? How are things doing? I'll say, hey, we'll spend a little bit more time on that. Rita really handled that pretty well already. And the next thing you want to do is a client party. And I'll spend a little bit of time with you on that. Who in here does client parties? A few of you? Good for you. If you don't do that, you are missing out. So let's talk about the letter of the heart. It is a personal letter about something that's going on in your life. Your kids, your family, the fall, the season, whatever it is. But it's a personal letter. And there's a call to action at the bottom of it. So you got to be careful what you write. Yeah, one of my buddies sent out one about his dog dying. And then it was, oh, by the way, if you know anybody wants to buy or sell a house. I thought it was kind of tough to undo this beautiful animal that would run and catch the ball until your arm fell off. Your arm would fall off before the dog would quit chasing the ball. And then it was, oh, by the way. So I thought that was kind of a tough deal. I was driving down the street in my office. I live in Stone Oak, Sonterra area, and there's some medical offices there. And I pulled up behind this gentleman, and he had Medal of Honor plates on his car. And I thought, wow, I've never met a Medal of Honor winner. I had the honor of working with 2 or 3 families posthumously that were Medal of Honor winners. And of course, at A&M, there's a bunch of them. But I thought, I got to meet this guy. And so he pulls up into this little rehab hospital, and I pulled up behind him, and I said, sir, I saw your plates, and I just wanted to shake your hand. I've never met a Medal of Honor winner. And he kind of, nice little, smaller gentleman, older guy in his 80s. And he said, oh, well, you know, the plates are free. And I said, well, you certainly earned it. I said, were you in Vietnam? And he said, yes, I was. And I said, may I ask what you did? He said, I was a dust-off pilot. And those are the guys that flew in on the helicopters and rescued everybody and then took them back to the MASH units or whatever. And I said, well, sir, it was really an honor to meet you. I happened to, by coincidence, I knew a couple of dust-off pilots. They'd been clients of mine. And so I named dropped. I said, do you know Colonel Poe? Yeah, I knew Don Poe. And do you know Don Cochran? Yeah, I know Don Cochran. So we exchanged names for a second. That was just pure luck. And I said, well, sir, it's really an honor to meet you. Thank you so much for your time. And I stepped away, jumped in my car, went back. Major General Patrick Brady, first dust-off pilot to win the Medal of Honor. He had flew in, one day he rescued, I'll read the whole citation, but in one day he saved about 50 lives, flew 5 different missions, got 3 helicopters shot out from under him, and saved all these lives under tremendous fire and everything else. And for conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity, he was awarded the Medal of Honor. Unbelievable story. Just incredible man. And so I thought, well, that's a great letter. So I sent that letter out. My phone just blew up. And of course, San Antonio is Military City, USA, so you can imagine what the impact that was. And not everyone, you don't knock it out of the park every single time like that, but I promise you, if you can spend just a little bit of time about something that's special or important to you, whatever that is, that will connect with people. And it was something that meant a lot to me. Folks, if you do that, you will stay in touch with your database. It gives you an opportunity to something to talk about when you're calling them up and you don't know what to say. So, hey, what's up? You know, how's the weather? What are you doing? That Ford script that Rita gave you is gold. They're great prompts. How's your family? How's work? What's going on? Can I update your email address? How about the kids? What are you doing for spring break? What are you doing for Christmas? What are you doing for Thanksgiving? Did you get to the game? All those kinds of things, those are great prompts to get that conversation rolling. It's this great system. But you gotta have, and we've got a formula for this, and there really is a good, and at the bottom there's a call to action. And if you can, and people read headlines, they read captions, and they read PS or postscripts. Those are the essential elements of that. And if you're consistent in mailing that out, whether you do one month and one the other, or you do the 1st and the 15th, which is what we coach everybody to do, if you mail that out to between 300 and 400 people every single month, your business will grow. This system is built for a database of 300 to 400 people. If you can keep it in that sweet spot, you will do between 3 and 6 transactions a month out of that population, if they're the right demographic. Now, if you're mailing to 400 little old ladies in rocking chairs in a nursing home, that's not a very good demographic. But if you're mailing to people in their late 20s, early 30s, up into their mid-50s, you can do really well in that population. If they're local, if you're mailing people all over the country, that's not going to do you any good. They got to be people that are locals, people that fit your profile, people that you share values with, know you, like you, and trust you. If you go down that list and say, no, I don't think so, if they weren't nice to each other, if they disrespected each other, if you didn't like the way the transaction went, if you chainsaw the deal, and we chainsaw one every once in a while, not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, you just cut that one loose. If you didn't get along with them, you're a professional, you get that deal closed, but then you just set that person aside and say, you know, we're not going to pursue that relationship anymore. That's okay, but you got to augment that with something else. Got to send this out every single month. The evidence of success. That's where you demonstrate your competence. You've got to show them you know what you're doing and how your brand, your experience, your expertise, your product knowledge, your market knowledge, your work ethic, your sense of urgency created an opportunity. Who's been in a multiple offer situation recently? Right? That's a great story. Hopefully you got the deal because you had a pre-qualified letter from Mid-America Mortgage, and that lender picked up the phone and called the listing agent and said he'd already met face-to-face with the buyer, and that deal was going to close on time, and it was a better offer than the other three, and it didn't require as much of a seller contribution. And you got that deal, and you got that buyer out of your car, and you didn't have to show them next Saturday or Sunday. How grateful are you to the lender for getting that done, number one. And number two, because you negotiated a great deal on behalf of your buyer, your client got the house they really wanted, and there's 4 other realtors that are still schlepping people around because they didn't get that house. You've got to be able to tell that story. A new home purchase, a resale, a move-up, empty nester, an inbound reload, an outbound reload, a custom home, a kitty condo, a vacation home. You got to tell stories about all the different properties that you've sold, all the transactions you've been involved in, and how you brought in the stager, got the house restaged, got it priced right, because you were the second realtor and you sold it in 30 days. The first person had it for over a year and didn't get it sold. Or again, you solved that problem because your experience, your expertise, your product knowledge, your work ethic made it happen. Or we can outshout the group next week. We're super competitive. That'll be fun, right? But if you don't tell that story over and over again, they just think you're a $1 million producer sprawled across your Mercedes in an airbrush photo with your brick phone from the 80s, and you don't need anything. Say this with me. I need your help. I need your help.
I need your help.
The world didn't stop spinning. Lightning didn't strike. Okay? And if you really struggle with that, you can say, it's not I need your help, I have a family that needs your help. Is there anybody else you know that's in the market to sell? Because I got the cutest family and I can't find them what they want in this zip code or this neighborhood. Or I've got the greatest little house and I need somebody who's just getting married or just having a baby or something like that. You got to tell people where to look and what to look for. And it's okay to ask for help. We struggle with that all the time. I need your help. That's an okay ask. And people love to help you. If you're in a relationship with them, if they like you and care about you, they'd love to help you out. Who doesn't want to be the hero and come to your aid or your rescue and feel like they've done something different for you? There is, again, a system or a practice around this that you need to adopt and use. It's a great template, tell a great story, a good postscript, and it's a good emotional story about how you impacted somebody. That will resonate with people. And then when you're following up on your phone calls, you can ask them, did you get my letter or did you get my postcard? They get both of them, but one's going to speak to one person and one's going to speak to the other person. If they're more business oriented, the postcard's going to resonate with them. If they're more emotionally based, the letter's going to resonate with them. And that can take you down the path of that conversation. The letter of the week. This is putting on your big girl pants and picking up the phone and sitting there for about an hour, maybe 2 hours, and calling your clients. Not looking at Facebook, not looking at cat juggling videos on YouTube, not figuring out where you're going to get a free lunch, not buying concert tickets or anything else. This is picking up the phone and calling your database and checking in with them. How are you doing? How's everything with the house? Is there anything I can do for you? I'm a resource. Oh, you liked your fence guy? You got your fence done? How good was your fence guy? I would love to put him on my list. I will call him and make sure see if he wants to align with us. Because I'm always looking for a good fence guy. I'm always looking for good trades and vendors. And Kendra's got a great example of this here in a second. And she really takes care of her vendors and promotes them to her database. And obviously it's a commercial for Kendra, but it's all about somebody else. And it works really, really well. But if you're making that phone, ask them about their CPA, their pay. It's different in Texas. Now that you're here, have you updated your will or your trust? The one that got me was, I listened to somebody speak and he said, you got a will, right? Of course, you have a will, trust, all that kind of stuff, that's all been done. And he said, if something happens to you and your wife, what happens to your daughter? And I said, at the time it was my mom or my sister-in-law. And he said, what happens if Child Protective Services gets there before your mom does? And I said, ooh, okay, you got my attention. You got my attention. And he said, we need to write a letter that gives the, you see, you think a 16-year-old babysitter is going to stand up against Child Protective Services? And I said, probably not. And he said, if there's a trauma, a tragic accident, and then your daughter gets taken to somewhere else for 24, 36, 48, 72 hours before your mom can get there or prove up whatever she needs to prove to take custody of the child, think about that. That's a great conversation to have with your clients that have little kids. And I don't think there's anybody in this room that's had that conversation with their clients. You want to bring value to the relationships you have. You want to align with an attorney that would be grateful for those opportunities, and you pre-negotiate a price with that attorney to meet with a bunch of your clients that have small children and do that for them. That's a value add. You're going to get business from that attorney, and you're going to get great face-to-face opportunity with those clients. Little things like that make all the difference in the world in building that database. And we're still not talking about advertising. We're still not talking about a Zillow spin or anything else. I'm talking about dealing with people that you're in a relationship with. I'm not a big fan of talking to strangers. I really am. I'm just not. I was all networking, all warm introductions with people before. I just do it a lot. And I've been doing it for a very long time. That's the only difference. Who's got somebody in their sphere mispronounced it, in their sphere that sends them 2 or 3 deals a year consistently? A few. So who is that to you? Who's that person in your life?
My mother.
Your mom. Well, good mom. If your mom didn't refer you, you're out of luck, right? Okay. And is mom just that person, or is she in industry, or what does she do? She's just a mom. Okay, cool. Who else? And I'm sorry, 300 people in the room, and I picked the one that said mom. Who's that person to you, ma'am? A past client. And are they in industry, or are they just a maven connector, or they're just one of those people? They just know a lot of people like them, respect them, go to them. Who else has somebody in industry, ma'am, in the shawl? A doctor. Doctors are tough because they're in their own little world. They're really hard to get a hold of. Who else has got somebody? I saw some other hands go. Yes, ma'am.
My title, the one who owns my title company.
Title person. Very good. Good. Of course, they know 1,000 realtors, but that's really good that they're referring you. That's very nice. We'll keep that. Don't tell anybody. Okay. Cool.
This is personal friend.
Yes, ma'am. Who's that to you? A lender. Very good. Good. So, who has 5 people in their stable that sends them 2 or 3 deals a year? A few of you? Good for you. Anybody have 10 or 20? So my good fortune is I've got over 100 people that send me 2 or 3 deals a year. And I got 100 more that I'm chasing. So all I've done is build a little bit bigger wheel. I'm just a little bit further ahead of you on the curve. If you can, and I will submit to you that if you've got a database of 250 to 400 or so, you already know 5 people in your database that can refer you that business. You just never had that conversation with them. If you're intentional about doing this, the phone calls, the letters, the follow-up, the events, getting in front of them, you can cultivate those relationships. And if you want to accelerate that process, come talk to us afterwards. We'll be happy to share that with you. But folks, that is the way you build a business, to scale it the way you want to scale it, to any size or scope that you want. Because I was a 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 40, 50, 80, $100 million. I mean, I've gone through the whole process. There's no shortcuts on any of that. But it's everything that we talked about doing step by step over time. Through ups and downs in 9/11 and 2001 and market meltdowns and this and that and the other. I've been through all of that. And so, and it's funny now when interest rates are all the way back up to 5 and everybody's choking and panicking over that. That's still a blip compared to my lifetime experience, but everybody got such a short memory. Their clients all think they can still get 275 or 3 1/8 or whatever. But that ship has sailed. So you got to really be dialed in. You ought to really be dialed in on your listings too, as far as the expirations of those. That when it was like shooting fish in a barrel for so long, everything was selling in 30 or 60 days, you didn't have to do a whole lot more than stick a sign in the ground. Now you better have a really good conversation with those clients about absorption rates and where you stand in line and which one's gonna sell next, and do you really wanna get out of here by the end of the year, or you're gonna own this house next 4th of July, and what are you gonna do about it? But you gotta be intentional about that. It has changed. It's been a blast for a long time. It's been a great run. Now everybody's got to get the game face on to make this work and be tough about it. Got to call your database. Check in with them. Ask them what's going on in their life. Ask them what their plans are. Find out about mom or the kids or the brothers or sisters or work or whatever. Look at the name before you just start dialing people and you don't prep. That's not going to be very good. Check them out on LinkedIn. Check them out on Facebook. You can stalk them a little bit. You can backfill some information about what's going on so you can ask some good questions. Instead of just saying, how are the kids, when you can identify them by name, that's a little more impactful. That's being a little bit more intentional. That's taking a little bit of extra time instead of just banging through a bunch of phone calls just because somebody told you to. You can't go around the horn twice a year on that if you're intentional about it. Rita hit this pretty hard, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but that is the formula. Those are the prompts to have that conversation. And there are going to be some opportunities. Your job is to find the need, fill the need, ask for a referral. When they need something, you fix it. You become a resource for them. That's the reticular activator part of the brain. They were thinking about real estate all the time they were in the market to buy or sell. They were talking to everybody about real estate, interest rates. You're going to have an open house. Did you see anything you like? But once that's over, it's over. They don't need you anymore. So you really got to work hard to be a part of their life and be a resource for them. Otherwise, good luck in 5 to 7 years if they call you again, remember you, think about you, or anything else. Client parties. I've done a Santa party since my daughter was 3 years old. And so I have a real legit, it's not me, it's a real legit TV quality Santa Claus. So instead of going to the mall for 2.5 hours and having your kid melt down at the last minute when they realize how creepy it is to be sitting in Santa's lap and all of a sudden mom and dad are over there, and you got that screaming baby picture, all you know what I'm talking about. Come to my house, we'll have milk and cookies. If it's a little daunting to get in Santa's lap, that's cool, you can sit there for a little while. And then when you screw up your courage, then you go sit in Santa Claus' lap. I've had clients come back for years and years. The kids bring catalogs now, and they just thumb through the catalog and show, and they bring an iPad. Look, Shannon, here's my shopping cart from Amazon. It's already filled, loaded up. Just help me out here. Kids these days, no fear whatsoever on the internet or anything like that. That's not cheap. I mean, it cost me a couple $1,000s to do that, but it's not going to get everybody to my home. And guess who comes? The perfect demographic for me. Mom and dad and a couple of kids, and guess who they bring? Their friends who are in the market to buy a house. Every single time they say, these are my friends, they're having another baby, they just had a baby, they're going to have a baby, they just got married, whatever, they want to buy a house. Pays for itself every single time. Whether you do a pumpkin patch, a movie event, a backyard barbecue, 4th of July, Easter egg roll, you name it, whatever works for you. We talk about doing happy hours all the time, and I had one of my coaching students was really struggling. He said, man, I don't do happy hours, don't do happy hours. And I found out, well, of course, he was a recovering alcoholic. And I thought, well, shoot, man, I'm sorry, I did not realize you were going through that. I said, good for you. I said, you don't have to do a happy hour. That's kind of a metaphor. You can do a bowling event. You can do something. I don't care what you do, but you got to do something. And all of a sudden, the light goes on again. It's, oh, geez, that makes all the difference in the world. He wasn't comfortable with that. Wasn't part of his value set. But getting in front of people made a lot of sense to him. We just had to find a different way to do it that fit in his values. So whatever that is for you, but you got to get in front of them. And they want to talk to you and they want to catch up. Because I always ask, how's the market? Everybody that you meet, when you say, oh, I'm in real estate, they say, what's the first question? How's the market? Oh, my God, I'm so opportunistic. Which then they say, well, what does that mean? And now you get to really have a conversation. If you say it's great, they go, okay, good, or it's bad, whoops, get away from me. But if you say it's opportunistic, well, then that just begs the next question. All of a sudden, you get in a conversation with them about what's going on. There's some great deals out there. Rates have ticked up a little bit, but this, that, and other's happening. You can have a real conversation and demonstrate you know what you're talking about. And bring them into that conversation. This is gold, folks. However you do it, whatever you do. We do a missions baseball game. We've got our AA team in San Antonio. Had over 150 people at the Missions baseball game. Done my Santa party for years. We did an Avengers movie. Who likes those movies? I don't get them. I don't get it. But my clients love it, and we pack the place. So, it's what the customer wants. I can sit there and watch the Avengers clobber each other. Anyway, that's not my thing. But they seem to love it, and we can fill up that theater. And I get a chance to say hello, introduce my team, do a quick little 30, 45-second gratitude commercial, and see everybody, and it works great. And again, these are my friends. They're new to town. These are my friends. I work with them, and so on and so on. Guys, it is gold. It is gold. And I'm pretty sure you would find somebody who might be willing to help you do that every once in a while. Kendra's letter. Are we going to be able to play this? Is it going to roll? Let's see.
Hey, it's Kendra Cook again. I am so excited to have our February vendor with me today, Nicole Singh. Make it a great day.
So let's talk about that for a second. Was that Spielberg quality? Was it scripted? Was the inspector a professional speaker? Kendra certainly is, but the inspector's not. Took about 3 minutes to do that. Sent out to hundreds and hundreds of people. How grateful is he that he earned her endorsement, got out of his comfort zone a little bit. She brought value to that relationship by a mile. Also a great nugget for her clients, a great opportunity for her clients to reconnect with her and an invitation to call. I mean, she touched all the bases on that deal. First take, 3 minutes, boom, done. And she can send that out over and over again too. Hey, this is who's going to do your home inspection. Just thought you'd like to know. We've endorsed this guy for years. I would challenge each and every one of you to pick somebody, your favorite lender, Mid-American Mortgage, your title person, an inspector, an appraiser, somebody like that you can shoot that video with. Maybe you guys can endorse one another. Doesn't have to be exclusive, but it's got to be genuine. She didn't say this is my only inspector. It's the only inspector we ever use. All the rest of them are knuckleheads. She did not say that. She said, this is a great guy. I love working with him. He's professional. That's perfectly fine. That doesn't undermine anything else or any other relationship. It's a great endorsement, a great referral, the way we all want to be referred. Okay? That is money, folks. If you will do that, that's content for your database to send out. You can post it on social media. You can post it on YouTube, have it on your website. Your webmaster can host that for you very easily. And you start stacking those up, your SEO is going to go up. And I'm not an internet guy by any stretch of the imagination, but the videos that you have, all that content, helps you go up too when people are looking for you. Managing your activity. Rita spent some time on this. You've got to have a schedule. A start time, a stop time. You got to schedule some stuff. Otherwise, you just run around with your hair on fire. You got to set some specific goals about your calendar and what you're going to do. When your letter of the heart's going to go out, who's responsible for that? On a small team, obviously, somebody's got to write the content. The evidence of success. You can do those and put them in a can. You can write 12 evidence of success postcards, have them all stacked ready to go for the next 12 months. If you're that ambitious, if you're really an overachiever, that's pretty easy to do. The letter of the heart's a little bit more spontaneous, but it's got to be going out every single month. You got to be consistent with it. You can plan your client events and so on. And you got to call your letter of the week. That's time blocking. And that's a whole other class and a whole other day of how to do all that and really do it well. And making sure that your team and everybody else knows that you're going to be left alone during that time. Who would take an interruption during a listing appointment? Nobody? What about you're working with a buyer, you're showing houses? You're going to stop and take a phone call when you're in the middle of negotiating or middle of showing somebody a house? Of course not. But we'll stop what we're doing when we're calling our database or making our phone calls. Oh, look at that. Oh, an interruption. Hey, what do you got? Hey, you got a second? We don't give it the same attention and the same level of respect that we should. And that's, again, that's a big mistake that we all make because it's so easy. If somebody's leaning on your door jamb, hey, you got a minute? You got a minute? You got a minute? Hey, Kendra. Hey, Rita. Hey, Dayton. And then all of a sudden something doesn't happen, you get distracted and off you go down a rabbit trail. You got to protect your time. You are the franchise. Make sure that you protect your time every single day. Be intentional about it. All right, I want you to write down some things, some nuggets that you got, but I'll leave you with this last thought. There's A, B, and C clients. An A client is referred with value, ready to do something now, will play by your set of rules. Referred with value, ready to do something now, will play by your set of rules. A B client is missing one of those elements. So automatically, sign call, internet hit, open house, floor duty, whatever. They're automatically, at the very best, they're a B client. They were not referred with value. You're just one of 25,000 other realtors in the Metroplex, or 30. What's your number up here now? Did it go up again while we were here in the room? I know it did in San Antonio. We got 200 a month coming in and 100 a month going out the back door, but 200 a month coming in the front door. Referred with value, ready to do something now, play by your set of rules. A B client is missing one of those elements. A C client is missing two or more of those elements. So what happens if we don't have enough A clients? You end up with Bs, right? And you can live with a few Bs. Some people that just aren't quite ready to buy, they don't want to get pre-qualified quite yet, and they don't want to stage the house the way you want, or they're a little bit too high on the price, or whatever that is, but they make the other two tests. But if you don't have enough B clients, you end up with C clients. So a C client is somebody you're showing houses, you call them Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, trying to set an appointment for them. They won't go get pre-qualified with the lender that you directed them to. They won't call you back. And then about 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon, they call you up. Well, we had soccer practice, then we went to the birthday party, and now we're ready to go look at houses. And if you don't show it to it, that's okay. I'll call one of the other 25,000 realtors. I'll call the listing agent, I'll call the site rep, or do whatever. You want to be that booty call agent? You up? You want to look at houses now? Folks, I want you to play in that A sandbox. I want you to play with people that know you, like you, trust you, that you're in a relationship with, that when you say, oh, I'm with my parents today, or I'm with my kid, can we do that tomorrow? Or your transaction coordinator, or who your schedule says, I'm sorry, she's already booked Tuesday evening, can I set you up for Wednesday or Thursday? They will respect those boundaries. They're not going to call you at 9 or 10 o'clock at night. They're not going to blow you up with text messages. They're not going to argue with you about the price, or the staging, or the lender referral, or what the inspection said, or how to negotiate on things. Those are the people that you need to spend your time with. And if you don't, you're going to be like all the other realtors that only last 2 or 3 years in this business, all the other realtors that only sell 3 or 4 houses a year, that make about $15,000 taxable, and don't have any money for savings, don't have any money for retirement, don't have any money for their family, don't have any money for their philanthropy, for their church, or any other things. I want you to be in that A sandbox with great clients and build a business that you want to build, and it's all about those relationships. And once you get that, then you can start adding stuff. Then you can do the extracurricular thing. Then we can chase builders or other people. But you got to get that database right. You got to be able to show people yourself, the rest of your clients, why should I work with you? You're not even making any money out of the people you already know. Why should I give you a shot? You got to be really good about that. So thank you all very, very much. I really appreciate you being here. I want to say, Brian's going to introduce Kendra, but real quick I wanted to say, Kendra came in our coaching program not too long after I did. I had the honor of coaching her for a little while, and she flew up into this monster producer, and now she's my boss. So I want to say happy Boss's Day, boss. And it's a pleasure to work for you, and I'll follow you over a cliff any day of the week. So I'll let Brian do his thing now.
Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it. Thank you. Turn to page 11, if you would, in your workbook. At the break, not yet, at the break, if you're bold, you may want to meet a few people that you do not know. And even if you're reading page 11, because it's not internalized yet, you may want to step forward and give a couple of people your elevator pitch. Yes, it will be uncomfortable. If you would, everybody fold their arms very quickly. Fold your arms. Reverse the way you fold them. A&M guys can't do it, okay? How does that feel? Awkward? Still? Okay, relax. Here's the deal, folks. When I cross my arms this way, I'm comfortable and I'm effective. When I cross them this way, I'm not comfortable. I think I'm effective, but I don't feel comfortable. Here's a question. Do you care how I feel? I'm looking for a $300,000 home in your market. I'm a customer. My wife is with me, and we're looking at $300,000 homes. Do you think my wife and I want you to be comfortable? We want you to be effective. This is our dream home. Much like he said, I want to raise my babies here. I want to raise my grandkids here. I want to build memories here. And I don't want a comfortable person selling to me. I want an effective person. So even though you may be a little out of your comfort zone, if you want to bring that page with you or bring the booklet with you and challenge yourself and maybe challenge the other person to give their elevator pitch, that'd be a good way to do it. Look at your watch. I've got 1:45. Look at your watch. Now you got to be back at noon. You've got to be back at noon because Mike waved to us. Mike Cooks is giving away a drawing for the BMW. No. But we can be back in 15 minutes, folks. For all the people from Oklahoma, the big hand will be on the 12. Give yourselves a round of applause. Well done.
Fighting words.
Pardon?
I said, those are fighting words up there.
How you get a Tennessee, University of Tennessee graduate off your front porch? Pay for the pizza. Guys, we're going to finish with customer service. Prospecting, so we found them. We're marketing to them. Now, how do we wow them? Can the cook can tell us how well we do?
Good afternoon. I did the fun topic. I said that these guys did all the work, so now we're going to have some fun. I talk a lot about wowing and the fact that customer service is a dying act. Do you guys agree with that? Think about for just a second the last time you were actually wowed. Somewhere you went, something that happened, something that was said, maybe the follow-up, where you sat back and said, wow. Think about that for a second. While you're thinking about that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my quick journey, and we're going to jump into wowing your clients from start to finish. My quick journey is no different than Rita and Dayton's, and first and foremost, to share the stage with two of my biggest mentors in my life, it was an honor to serve with you guys today. Give it up for both Dayton and Rita, if you will. Without these two, I would probably still be sneaking out of my house. I would probably be divorced. I don't know if my child would know me. I was a hot mess. Anybody sitting in the room that would admit that you're a hot mess in real estate right now? I was a hot mess. They saved me, okay? I found the core in 2004. I was a great salesperson. I could sell real estate. I had no systems. I had no structure. I didn't time management. I had 24 hours. I thought I was supposed to work all 24, right? That's what they taught us in real estate school, right? They didn't teach us anything in real estate school. Let's be honest. Nothing that we learned in real estate school do you use today, right? So that's why we come to events like this, so you can learn from people who have the battle scars, who have been there and done that. So in 2004, I was selling about 200 houses, keeping about not even 10%. I was spending everything I had chasing business. I didn't know there was a such thing as attraction, where I could attract people that wanted to work with me, that I could attract referral partners, that I could build a business, that I could work with people that knew, liked, and trusted me. I thought it was a game that I chased and I chased and I chased, and whatever I caught, I ate or killed and I ate. Right? Most people in real estate, that's kind of how we start. So I realized that when my husband sat me down and said, "You've been sneaking out of the house in the middle of the night, I know where you're going, to the office, one of two things are going to happen. You're going to get killed on the way home, coming out of the building in the middle of the night, single girl walking out, or you're going to fall asleep behind the wheel, and either way, I'm a widow and your son loses his mom. You need to figure it out." As a believer in Christ, I fell to my knees, I prayed, and within 3 weeks, I was sitting in Palm Springs at a core event, thinking, what in the heck have I done, right? I can't afford to hire a coach, and I can't afford not to. I heard things like, knowledge is free and accountability is everything. I thought, well, you guys are giving me a lot of this, I can probably go home and do it myself. And what I realized is, we could all do it ourselves, but will we? Do you have the fortitude? Do you have the drive with everything else that we're challenged with, being a parent, being a spouse, being a realtor, being a professional, being all of these things, a community servant, a leader? Do we have time to squeeze in accountability for ourselves? And I realized I didn't. So fast forward, I went from selling about 200 houses a year, working 80 hours a week, to selling 363 houses in 2016, working 37 hours a week. And at that point, I realized that I probably had figured out a lot of things. I haven't figured it out, all of it, but I was given the opportunity to move to Charlotte and run our real estate division. And so I've been there a year. I will not tell you it is easy. I will tell you it is my dream job. So this will be where I finish out my real estate deals and days, traveling the country, paying it forward. People say to me all the time, why would you do that? Why would you give up the thrill of the sale to go do that? These two paved the way for me, along with a gentleman by the name of Bill Haggard and Albert Johnson, the two guys who believed in me when I was in law school, to come be a realtor. And so now I'm going to pay it forward. So hopefully you will pick up some nuggets today that I will share with you. I will tell you the ride is hard, it is long, the journey is painful, but it's well worth it. So I am enjoying the ride of being a full-time real estate coach now and sharing my journey in real estate. So I'm going to share this class that we wrote in the core about how to wow your clients. I'd love for somebody to share a wow experience with us. Who's somebody that has something that they think would be a really impactful story while you thought about that for a minute? Somewhere you've been, something happened, something that was said that would be a wow for the rest of us in the room. Anybody? Look around the room. One lady's raised her hand. I'm going to let this lady share because it's a rarity. What drives me crazy is we are so quick to tell somebody about a bad experience, but we don't ever share the good experience because there's so few of them. Young lady, will you stand up and turn around and share your story with us? Share with the great one.
Hi, can everybody hear me okay? Yeah. My name's Deidre, I'm with Keller Williams Realty in Allen. Probably about 2.5 months ago, I had stopped at Big Lots and grabbed a bag of, I think they're called like dry snap peas. They come in like different flavors, and I don't typically like spicy things, but I decided to try the spicy flavor that day. So my son and I were in the car, and I'm eating some, and I pull it out, and there was a hair in the bag. So that's like the worst possible thing that you would want to have happen to you. So in that moment, I just looked up the customer service number on there, shot them a quick little email, told them, hey, da-da-da-da, whatever. About 2 weeks later, I received an email back from them wanting to know kind of what had happened. They wanted to know the lot number, the flavor, where he purchased it, all that other information. So I sent it back to them, and I said, I understand things like this happen, whatever, but I just wanted to, to let you know. So then they responded back, they asked me for, what flavor would I like because they wanted to replace that bag. And I said, I've had the original, I said, but I'd like to try this other flavor, I'd like Parmesan. And I said, I definitely don't want to try the spicy one, kind of left a bad little taste in my mouth. And so they're like, okay. So within a week, I ended up getting a box from Calbee North America. They gave me a bag of every single flavor that they had, and they sent me a coupon to go and get 5 additional bags of the product. And they totally wowed me, and I still have it on my counter. So I'm like, okay, I need to write a thank you note back to them to let them know that they really just floored me in terms of their customer service, because it doesn't typically happen, and typically not having a vendor like send you everything that they need in fact to kind of make up for that.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that story. That's a wow, right? It just doesn't happen very often anymore. It's so hard to find an experience where we look back and say, wow, she's going to go tell 20 people about what she experienced. Now, if they hadn't have responded, she probably would have told 20 people, you wouldn't believe I bought these peas, they had a hair in them, oh, gross. And then that person goes, oh my God, my friend had bought these peas and they had a hair in them, it's gross, right? So that bad stuff travels fast. Now I want to share, this is where I normally share a story about my most recent wow event. That was when I bought a Rolex. I was all prepared to tell you guys about that story today, but I'm going to change my mind because I've been wowed in the last 24 hours. If you work for Mid-America Mortgage, would you stand up? All of you. I want you to remain standing for 1 second. Dayton, Rita, and I are not cheap. Okay? So they have paid for us to be here. They have put us up in a hotel. They have flown us across the country. They have filled this room for us to speak to you all, which is a big wow. But let me tell you what else happened. We had Uber cars on text to notify to pick us up at the airport. One of the Uber drivers got confused. Rita let him know. They were staying at the hotel. They paid the cab when we pulled in. I didn't check in when I got here. Kaylee was standing with my keys wherever she is. I didn't even go to I said, Kendra, cook, and she's like, I have your keys, right? I got to my room, there was a box of every toiletry. I would have not had to pack a suitcase except my clothing because everything I could have needed was sitting in a box in the room. Along with, you're gonna see in your packet something about an All About You form. They had requested all of our All About You forms. I had my favorite chocolate, my favorite skinny popcorn, bottled water, which I drink, a gift card to one of my favorite stores. We all did. I could go on and on and on about this experience. I have been blown away by Mike Cooksey, the leadership with Dana, and all of these people in this room. I know Dayton and Rita have felt the exact same way. What I want to tell you is if they took care of three kind of strangers the way they took care of us, how would they treat your client? If you don't leave here with the warm heart that says, I can only send my people there because of the way they catered to people who basically were strangers, I don't know what else they could do to earn your business. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you, Mike, for your leadership, Dana, for your organization, and for the rest of you all for helping fill this room and making us feel super cared for. It has been a treat. Yes?
Please share a story.
Yes, you can.
Okay, so I met Chad not too long ago, and I had a really good friend who was buying a house, and she was going to use somebody online. And I said, oh my God, please don't. And I said, Chad, please call him. And he did, and he just kept calling her, and she finally went with him. And the experience was kind of like, it was more like this. And then all of a sudden he calls me and he goes, Kim, I don't know what's going to happen. And I go, no, Chuck, you can do it. I know you can do it because I have so much faith in you. You can do it. He goes, all right, I'll call you back in a while. We got through the little bump. Basically, my client quit his job and started a different job right in the middle of the loan process. Yeah, and then, so, okay, we got through that. And then the day of closing, he calls me. And he's like, I don't think we're gonna close. I go, no, Chuck, no, you make it happen. That's what it, what you need to do. And he did. I don't know, we called somebody big, and we closed that day. And my clients were so happy, and I was so happy. It was the best experience. He is a
Wow.
worker.
That is a beautiful testimony. I didn't say her to say that. I was just sharing my own experience, so thank you very much. So again, a room full of however many are in here, 200 or so people, we could get 2 or 3 testimonials. So we've got to do a better job of taking care of our clients. So going back to if you're going to work your butt off and prospect on that greatness tracker, and you're going to work those scripts, and you're going to get over the fear on the phone, because 2 things I guarantee you about this phone: you can't get a black eye on it. Okay, nobody can punch you if you call them. And if you haven't been cussed out in real estate, you haven't lived. So move past the fear of the phone. Get on the phone, all right? Then we get them in the database, and we're going to stay in touch with them, and we're going to love on them. And we want to get them to the point where they are wowed by every experience. So we're going to talk today about how to wow the experience from start to finish. Why it's important, why we don't do it. And I'm going to give you some systems and structure around doing it so you can take 2 or 3 things out of here and go back and start wowing your client right away. Is that fair? Everybody on board? All right. So why is it important? I would tell you most of us don't do it, and the reasons are we don't have a team. So we need somebody to help us with that. If you're a one-man or woman show, you can take the easiest part of this and implement it really quickly, but there are some things in here you're going to have some help to do, okay? The reason we don't do it is we're control freaks. We want to have our hand in everything. I want you to get your pen and paper out and write these 3 letters. E-G-O. I'm one of you, so I can pick on you, okay? Usually our ego gets in the way and we're like, we have to do everything. They only want to talk to me, I'm the best. I don't disagree with that, but with some systems and structure, you can train people to work with other people on your team. You will learn to delegate. Number 3, the reason we don't do it and why it's important is we need system and structure. One of my favorite words in coaching is consistency. If you don't live a consistent life, your business is not consistent, you don't have that system and structure, you will fall off the wagon. You cannot do it. Okay? So it's kind of like this person that you probably know that gets really super fit and then they gain weight. And then they get really super fit and then they gain the weight back, right? That would be me and my husband. We're really good for a while, then we fall off the wagon, right? We have to be consistent. Okay? And the last thing, we talked about system and consistency. All right, so why do most of us fall short? Why do most of us fall short? Because we didn't, these 2 slides got reversed, but that's okay. The previous one was why we fall short. This is actually why it's important. People want to feel special. When you send that handwritten note, how important is it to you when you walk to your mailbox and you get that note and you go, wow, somebody sent me a handwritten note. Do you feel special? People want to feel special. That's why we need to wow them, okay? You've got to be impactful. You've got to stand out. In a room full of, what do you say, 25,000 realtors or something in your area, why would they pick you? So you advertise in the Homes magazine or your face is on Zillow with 2,000 other people or 10,000 other people. Do they look for the pretty face? Do they look for the handsome guy? Are they looking for the goatee? Are they looking for the dimple? I mean, why would they pick you? You've got to be impactful. Consistent communication builds better relationships. We've talked about that all day today. I don't know why we feel like we can hide behind a keyboard or stick an ad in a newspaper or book and feel like that we're going to have a relationship with anyone. I'm going to pick on the guys for a second. Communication works in your marriage. It works in real estate too. Okay? You're supposed to laugh. That's funny, right? Guys have a hard time communicating. We women, we want to communicate about everything. We want to over-communicate most of the time, right? The guy's back there shaking his head. He's like, oh yeah, I'm married to her. That'd be me, right? So communication, it's key. And the last thing is, who doesn't want to pick up their phone on a rainy Tuesday in Dallas-Fort Worth and somebody say, my neighbor said you sold their house over asking price in 48 hours and that I should work with you too. Is there anybody in the room that doesn't want to take referrals? This is why we work on wowing our clients. So I'm going to walk you through a process of before the appointment, after the appointment, during the process, up to the closing, and after the closing of how you can put a system in place that will wow the client from start to finish. Okay? The main thing you need to know are there are 4 points of a sale, if you want to write them down. The first one is initial contact. The minute the phone rings, you're impacting that client, whether it's you or someone on your team, of how you respond to that initial contact. Are you professional? If they leave a message, how quick do you get back to them? What's the communication look like? Okay? The second point of the sale is build rapport. What do you have in common? Did someone refer them? How did they find you? Where do they live? What do they do for fun? You've got to find the common bond to build that relationship. Number 3 is you've got to close for the appointment, or you've got to close for the deal. Closing is number 3 in the 4 points of the sale, closing. And the last one that we as realtors fall the shortest of, follow-up. Follow-up. Now, in my opinion, there's no stat that says this, but if you look at those 4, where's most of the money made? The follow-up. And where are we the weakest? The follow-up. So I'm going to give you 4 steps through here, about 20 ideas. Pick and choose 1 or 2 that you can implement right away. The cool thing that you're gonna see about this is most of them are my favorite word. You should write it down. Free. I'm not gonna ask you to spend a dime on most of the things that we talk about today. So if you're chasing business, if you come from that background that I did, face on the shopping cart, the moving truck, the billboard, the chase, your mindset will change today with starting to attract those referrals and attract that business to come back to you from some of these systems. All right, so we're gonna get started. So before the appointment, meaning the phone rings, ring, hey, I wanna list my house with Cook Realty Partners, or I wanna speak to Kendra about listing my house, these things are gonna happen, okay? The first thing that's gonna happen is you're gonna get a pre-listing packet at your house that day when you get home. Now, you guys have a big territory here. Maybe you have to email it, okay? Ours are delivered in a green drawstring bag with my logo on it. We tell them when we're setting the appointment, there's gonna be something on your front step when you get home. Now, think about this. Your competitor is running into the appointment, flapping with a wet CMA out of the rain today, no pre-listing packet, no pre-anything, and that's your competition. You wowed them out of the gate by just dropping something off or emailing something, because I promise you most of your competition is not doing that. Very easy fix. Pre-listing packet looks like a letter to confirm our appointment that was set. I introduce them to my team, so they're already in the concept that they're not gonna work with me from start to finish. My resume is in there. Their homework is in there. I wanna know their average utilities, what's their payoff, any changes they've made to the house. The All About You form that you also have a copy of in your packet is in there. But most importantly is we have a 7-page property disclosure in Tennessee. I do not want to sit there while they fill out 7 pages. So the confirmation letter says you will see a to-do list of items to take care of before your appointment with Kendra. She looks forward to meeting you. I'm setting the expectation that I'm getting the closing, I'm closing for the sale when I get there no matter what. Buyer or seller, the letter says the same thing. I'm basically preparing you to be prepared to sign with me when I get there. Okay, we call it the assumptive close. All right, so the package is gonna come in, then you're gonna get a pre-listing video. So my assistant sets the appointment, she gets all the information, there's a takedown form. How'd you hear about Kendra? Do you live in the house? Have you made any changes to the house? It's a basic interview. So when I get there, there's a lot of questions I don't have to ask because I'm prepared. The pre-list hits, and then they get this video. Let's all cross our fingers at the video. A video that says, hi, my name is Kendra Cook. I'm the CEO of Cook Realty Partners. You have many choices in choosing a real estate agent to come talk to you about listing your house or doing a buyer consultation. You chose us. We're super grateful for the opportunity. Look forward to meeting you at the appointment. If you have any questions along the way, give us a call at the office. So it's really just an intro. So even if it's a buyer's agent on my team that's going out to make the buyer consult, they get a video, one for buyer, one for seller. We cut them one time and they go out every single time. Okay? Super impressive that, hey, the CEO stopped long enough to send me this video. Okay? So the other funny thing is in the video, which this beautiful face of mine that's frozen up here, is I say I need 3 things for you. Again, I'm going back to the assumptive close. I need a key that works. So I kind of joke, make a joke out of it, right? How many of us have gotten a key and it didn't work when you got there to use it? Number 2 is I need you to complete your property disclosure. So I go ahead and set the expectation. I want them to do their homework before I get there. And number 3, I need an updated payoff. So you'll see in a little bit when I do the seller's net sheet, I want them to know what their payoff really is. I don't want to wait for them to go dig that out. So I'm assuming that I'm going to close the deal when I get there. I'm going to have them more than prepared of everything I need, so we're not waiting on those documents to get the house listed. Okay, so don't stress on it. It's fine. We'll just send the links to you guys. You can send them out. So the video went, I'm now at the appointment. Okay? So you got to figure out ways to wow them when you get to the appointment. And a lot of it is just your experience. Right? It's your knowledge, and even if you're 6 months in the business, you gotta wing it. You gotta sell them like you've been doing this forever. Because we coach a lot of people in the Corps that they hire us in our level 1 program, brand new out of the box, and say, teach me how to build this business from the ground up, starting now. I don't want to do all these bad habits for 20 years and then come back and have to undo them, right? So the first thing they say is, how do I get somebody to work with me? By telling them I've only been in the business 6 months. Don't tell them that. Okay? If you've been in the business 6 months, Rely on your company. Rely on if you're with whatever brand, hey, this X brand has been in the market forever, right? You don't have to say, I've only been here 6 months, all right? So when you're at the appointment, you gotta continue to wow them. It starts with a professional presentation. Guys, I said this last night when we were talking to the LOs with Mike and his group. The bad thing is we've all gotten super comfortable with all this low-hanging fruit. You guys want a listing, you go out to the tree, you pull off that listing and you list it and you get multiple offers and you sell it, right? Same thing with buyers. We've been pre-approving buyers like drinking water around here, okay? We don't have to really look for those people. So we've been winging it in a world of working with somebody with their biggest asset, which drives me crazy. So people say, do you do this listing presentation for every client? The answer is yes. Because you know what it takes care of is all those distractions halfway through the process when they say, we haven't sold a house in 10 years, we forgot what this part looks like. If I did the presentation, I eliminated all those questions, I answered it on the front end, the distractions go down, I'm more profitable when I'm prospecting more. Are you guys following our system? Does that make sense? So if you're gonna just wing it, you're gonna discount your services, you're gonna discount your price, and that's when somebody comes in and says, do you cut your commission? Right? If you don't give them an opportunity to ask that question because you've given them so much value, they won't. Professional prepared presentation. We take a picture, whoever's going on the listing appointment, from our iPad when we get there and drop it in our presentation, and it already has their name in it, so they think, oh my gosh, this presentation was just done for me. That's a wow. We go through the entire presentation talking about our team, marketing, experience, staging, services we provide. It takes about 8 minutes. But it's pictures, and it's pretty, and it's detailed, and it addresses all the things that they're going to ask you at some point in time if you don't address it on the front end. Okay? Presentation has to be sharp. Most of our competition, I said, is running in with your comparables. Where we're going to be different is we're going to do a seller's net sheet. How many of you in this room do not do a seller's net sheet at the presentation? Raise your hand. Can I ask you why? You don't know, okay? Anybody else have an answer why they don't? They don't know how, okay? Don't have a sales price, okay? Well, when you're at the appointment, you get the sales price, so you can come up with a pretty good idea, right? So let me show you how to add value and wow somebody. Why do these people call us out to their house to list it? They want to sell, but more importantly, they want to know how much money am I going to get? I go, yeah, I can sell your house. I'm great. I'm pretty. I'm hot. I'm great. I'm sexy. Real estate's fabulous. And we run out the door. And then your lender from Mid-America calls and says, hey, Sue, when you list Mr. and Mrs. Jones' house, how much money are they going to make? I don't know. How helpful are you to that lender to have them get pre-approved so they know how much money they're going to put down so they know how much house to buy? It's called value add. When you sit down with them and you look at the comps and you say, hey, I think your house is going to sell between 220 and 230, we're going to take the bottom 220 and I'm going to plug that number in and I'm going to plug in X% commission because I split that blah, blah, blah. You do your commission talk. I'm not getting into commission. Taxes, if it closes in October, we got to pay 10 months worth of your taxes, so you figure up the tax proration. Title insurance is paid by the seller in my marketplace. I know how to figure title because I met with my title person who said it's $7.25 per thousand. So I figure up that and I plug that in there. And I've got doc prep from the title company and closing fee. And oh, you might have to pay $2,500 towards closing costs. I plug that in and I do the math. Remember, I already told them to have their payoff statement. So I plugged in the payoff. And I go, you're going to have $45,000. Will you invest all of that in your new house? And they say, yes. And I say, great. When you call Ryan, you make sure that you tell him you're going to have $45,000 to buy that new house with. So he can figure the payment on what you have to work with. Because how many of us have gotten that call about a week before? I'm nervous, I don't think I can make that payment. You've got to wow the client. It's an easy step, guys. We're professionals. We get paid a lot of money, in my opinion, to do this. And if 3 of you are walking in for an appointment, only 1 of you are telling them how much they make, who is wowing the client? If you don't know how to do this, this should be your one thing you will for sure do in the next 7 days is meet with your title person and figure out how to figure up how to do a seller's net sheet. It will set you apart from your competition. You have to be prepared to give them tips on how to make this house sell faster, and I call those hard conversations. Because I promise a lot of your competition are walking in there saying, oh, the pink bedroom's fine, and the 700 pictures you have of your kids in the hallway is okay, and you don't need to put your medicine away, and yes, they do. Yes, they do. Those are all the things I'm looking for when I'm walking through. You're the professional, they're not. So when we're sitting down having a conversation about price, I will go ahead and address the fact that that pink bedroom, we may have to go ahead and put in $300 or $400 to get that painted. Are you okay with that? And as I was walking through, one of the things I think the first thing we should do is take 2 days and box all of the personal stuff up and just sit it in the garage. We don't take a picture of the garage. I'm okay with that. Would you rather have that conversation now or 60 days after you've been marketing that property and you haven't gotten any offers? Are you prepared to have those hard conversations? Most of your competition's not. We've left the appointment. We've got the listing. Or we didn't. They're going to think about it. You've got to recap in your brain. What did I do well? What did I not do well? What would I change? What scripts do I need to enhance? How can I do a better job? Right? Don't we all analyze that when we leave those appointments? We should. Right? How we get better. Okay? And you get in the car. Now, every buyer has buyer's remorse. What do sellers have? Seller's remorse. Right? So, you've gone in there, you've wowed them, they've signed the paperwork, and they're a young couple, and they call the mom and they go, Mama, what did I just do? You want to get rid of that. Because when Mama says you should have interviewed our uncle's brother's cousin who just got her license before you signed that, you're going to get an email when you wake up in the morning that says, we changed our mind. Has anybody got one of those emails before? This will eliminate that most of the time. So you leave the house. This works, every one of these steps, we have videos for the buyer and the seller. Okay, so they work on both sides of the coin. Okay? So you've just written an offer with the buyer, or you've just signed listing paperwork with the seller, and you get in your car and you're driving away and you call. We call it the driveway honor call. Hey, Mr. Smith, it's Kendra Cook. I know I just left and you think I'm crazy. I'm calling you and I didn't forget anything, but I just wanted to say thank you. I know you had many choices in choosing a realtor, and it is your biggest asset, and you signed paperwork with me and my team tonight, and we are so grateful for the opportunity to serve you. As I told you before I left, my listing assistant, Rhonda, will call you first thing in the morning. We'll get those pictures scheduled, but I'm so grateful to be in this working relationship with you, and I promise we're going to take great care of you. Have a great night. Will I get that email in the morning? Probably not. Same thing with the buyer. I know you just signed paperwork and you're a nervous wreck. I'm going to be with you. It's going to be a little bumpy. Be honest. Buying and selling a house is not a cakewalk. Tell them, I'm going to be with you. It is one of the best things that you can do. How much does that phone call cost you? Next, how many of you don't do copy packets anymore? Because we do everything electronically. Everybody sends a copy packet? I love it. I'm old school. When you make copies of everything they sign at the appointment. Okay? Somebody asked me what a copy packet is. Everything they sign at the appointment, whether it's electronic or handwritten, you should send them a copy. State law in the state of Tennessee says we have 48 hours to produce a signed document to anybody who signs it. That's part of our TAR contract. I don't know what your laws are here, but out of respect, when somebody signs a legal binding document with you of any kind, they're owed a copy. Okay? We send every one of those with a gift. It can be a bag of microwave popcorn. It can be a gift card for 4 ice cream cones at Sonic. We're not talking about a lot of money, but the note says, sit back and enjoy your treat while we work to sell your house, or while we work to get your deal done. It's super easy. It's another touch, and they open their copy packet and they're like, wow. Next one is, this is the best book in the whole world. The Bearstein Moving Day Book. They're $2.90 on Amazon, just so you know. Or they used to be. We used to buy hundreds of them at a time. And who doesn't love to get mail? We already talked about this. We like handwritten notes. The kids love to get mail. So remember that All About You form that's part of your pre-listing packet that you pick up at the appointment. On there it says, who lives in the house? So Mr. Smith, Mrs. Smith, Bobby, Susie, right? All their names are listed. So we send each kid in the house, if they're little enough, a book. It's $3 plus postage. 2 reasons. One, if you want to get to me, you go through my kid. Right? I'm a mama. And he's 20, and I'm still that way. You mess with my kid, you're messing with me. Right? Take care of my kid, you probably earned a friend for life. Okay? So first of all, we're getting, kind of sealing that deal a little bit more with mom and daddy. That I don't know anybody in here that woke up today and said, I'm only going to work for 10 years. And if I'm looking at clients for the next 20, 30, 40 years. So these little Sue and Bobby might be 8 and 10 now, but they're going to be 20 and 30 really quick. It doesn't take a lot of effort, but if you want to build clients for life, which is what we say we are, they're realtor for life, these are things that you can build a database for years and years and years. It's another wow for the kids. So now we're in process. That was just after we got the paperwork signed, okay? So now we're in the process, means we've got inspections happening, offers coming in, negotiations. It's utter chaos. Most of us say, I'll just call you if something goes wrong. Number one complaint in the National Association of Realtors is what? Communication. Now, we get paid a pretty decent fee, and the last thing I want somebody to say is you put the sign in the front yard and you never called me again. All of us have taken listings away from our competitors because of that reason, right? Don't be that agent. So in the core, you heard it earlier, we make status calls every single Tuesday. And we call and it looks like this. Hey, Mr. Smith, how you doing today? I'm doing great. It's Tuesday, time for your update call. How's everything going? Oh, we got boxes, our house looks like a disaster, blah, blah. Great, means we're making progress. Build them up. Do you have any questions for me? No, well, let me know that we're expecting the inspection back on Thursday, so you might hear from me twice this week, because we're gonna have to work through some repairs. As I told you, it's gonna happen. The inspector's gonna find something. There is no perfect house. Go ahead and set the expectation, so when you call them on Friday with 27 points on their inspection, they're not freaked out. You call them every Tuesday, I promise you, you will land a referral. NAR says that everybody in your database is good for 5 to 7 referrals for the life that you know that client. So do the math. You got 400 people in your database. They all refer you 5 people over the next 20 years in your career. You're not going to get rich, but that's the cherry on top. Why would you not want a free referral where you don't have to pay a referral fee? These are people that know, like, and trust you anyway. Don't you want to work with them? Okay? Status calls will also change your life because they won't be calling you every single day. You set the expectation, I'm going to call you every Tuesday through the listing, through the closing, all the way to the day of closing, I'm going to call you every Tuesday. They go, great. But what we do is we don't call them. They call us heated, I haven't heard from you, you're earning a big commission. Then you've got some trauma and drama on your hands. because you didn't block out an hour, hour and a half every Tuesday to call these people. This is one of those great videos that you're not going to get to see. It's called The One Step Closer. I tell you, I tested this, and all of these worked on my iPad, so I have no idea what's going on. It might just be me not knowing how to push the right button. But this is your one step closer. And again, hey, we're one step closer to closing. Next is going to happen. The inspector's going to come. It's paid for by the buyer, blah, blah, blah. If it's the buyer one, it's the same thing. Next up is our inspection. If you haven't picked your inspector, we can refer one to you, blah, blah, blah. It just walks them through the process. Because how many of you get that call? What's next? What's next? What's next? You cut these videos one time, and in your action plan, which I use Top Producer, it tells me when these videos are supposed to go out, and you hit the button, and guess what? Boom. Doesn't take rocket science, right? But it eliminates the distractions, okay? Next, they got the video, what's next? And it reminds me that it's time to send moving labels. I want to make sure that they know we're moving forward. People get emotional about 20 days into this experience. How many of you have had that call from them? Oh, we don't know if we're going to sell. It's like, you don't have a choice right now. we moving on, okay? So we got to keep them excited about the process, so we're going to wow them every time they turn the corner, so never is there a cold feet conversation, okay? These also, Amazon is your friend, in case you haven't figured that out. We buy these labels in big old round spools. One of the girls on our team puts 10 for each room. She puts a little paper clip on them. It's a Ziploc baggie, okay? And you see the label that says Cook Realty Partners, courtesy of Cook Realty Partners. And I put a little handwritten note in there, and on my stationery it says, let's get packing. And the labels, and it's it. Okay? These packets are pre-made in our storage room, so when it's time for those to go, I don't have to stop and write the handwritten note. I've already written those in my downtime. They're ready to go. Put the label on them, gone. Now, think about some of your clients. Stressful moving across the country, maybe it's a military move, maybe it's a move the mama doesn't want, and every chance you get an opportunity to give her a little grace, give her a little help, move the product down the line, and they get the moving labels. Guys, I think the whole row of like 10 rooms is $9. So when you can make, 9 bags for $9, it's super cheap, okay? All right, now we've gone to the closing. And they're super happy. And we've been wound, but we're not done. Because this is what happens. We get our check, and we run to the bank. They never hear from us again, but we're going to be their realtor for life. Right, Rita? This is where the real work starts. That was just to get you paid. Now you got to survive those and live for those referrals moving forward. Okay? Celebration at closing. How many of you don't go to your closing? Praise the Lord, all of you go. That makes me really, really happy. You would not believe how many people in the Corps that we coach that says, I went over to the HUD statement yesterday, they can close. What? No. You go to the closing. We make a big deal. A lot of our students take a bottle of grape juice, the little plastic champagne cups, and the grocery, not the disposable, but the reusable grocery bags with a big C logo on them. And you show up and you have a toast. And with that, I talked about this last night, but we get the corrugated plastic, like the sign inserts. And on one side it says, I bought my house with Cook Realty Partners. And on the other side it says, I sold my house with Cook Realty Partners. They hold the sign with me, we take a picture, and we put it on my Facebook page. I tag them, it goes on their Facebook page. And then blah, 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 blah. I didn't know you were moving, we're looking for a realtor. Why are you leaving the neighborhood? We love that neighborhood. All that. How much did that picture cost me?
Zero.
How much?
Zero.
Nothing. Go buy a $10 sign. Put your logo on each side. Keep it in your trunk. If you've got a team, everybody has a sign in their trunk. You take it in, take a picture, you post it. It is huge. The closing should be a great celebration. Now, whether you take your closing gift to the closing table or not, I do not, and I will tell you why. What do they want the day of closing if they're a buyer? Keys! And if they're a seller, what do they want? The check! Do they care about my gift? Usually their car's packed to the gills anyway, right, if they're moving. So for me to take in a gift, it's kind of overlooked, right? So we're gonna celebrate, and I'm gonna say, I'm gonna reach out in a week to 10 days, I'm gonna come see the new place when she gets settled in. That's a big wow. Because most of the time, if they've worked with another realtor before you, they never saw their realtor again. They sure the hell doesn't come to their house. Okay? So the celebration should be huge, but not just for mom and dad. I gotta bring the kids back in. We give 2 movie tickets for every kid that lives in the house when we close. The envelope has the kid's name on it, back to the All About You form. Okay? 2 movie tickets, one for them, one for a friend. There's a note in there that said, you did so good. You helped us sell your house. We're so excited for you to go to the movies on us. I mean, it's a little typed up thing. If it's a boy, it's in blue ink. If it's a girl, it's in pink. It's in the envelope. The 2 movie tickets are in there. All we have to do is put their name on the front. If you've got a creative person on your team, let them write it in a pink or blue marker. You can pre-make those, and they're ready to go. You take those to the closing. Some of the kids come, some of them don't, but again, they've got their own little envelope to go home. How wowed are the parents that you didn't forget the kids even at the day you closed? The in-home visit. 7 to 10 days after we close on the house, I go to the house, scheduled appointment, and I take them their closing gift. Now, I sell everything from $120,000 first-time home buyers to $1 million houses. Everybody gets the same closing gift. I'm going to share this story with you, and we're going to wrap up. We're going to do some Q&A. I have a lender I used to work with, and we did a deal together. It's about $1 million sale. And we show up at the closing, and he comes with a bottle of Down Perignon. And we toast. It was not grape juice. We're like, it's pretty impressive. He was the CEO of a company. We all toasted. It was great, great experience. So about 2 months down the road, the CEO referred us to somebody on his team. He was about a $250,000 buyer who bought a condo. Myself and the lender were the same 2 parties. He referred both of us. And the lender shows up at the closing with a bottle of, let's say, Asti Spumante. And the kid said, oh, I was so excited about the closing because my boss told me that we were going to toast to Dom Perignon today. So that lender ran out of the closing while the rest of us closed the deal and came back with the good stuff, and we toasted with the nice bottle of champagne. That taught me a lesson that I will never differentiate from anyone ever again. That's not even fair housing, folks. That's just respect, right? So we decided as a team after that we would all give the same, that the gift would be the gift for the year. We've been on these rugs for a while. It has their name, like the Cooks, or this was the 10 pennies. And so when I go to the house, I put the rug at the front door and I ring the doorbell. And I turn it around so they see their name when they open the door, and then we can turn it back around. That rug is gonna stay there every time somebody comes to the front door. My realtor got me this. Oh, your rug's cute. Oh, my realtor got me this. They're about $30 or $35. If you pay attention to the IRS, I think you can write off $25. Okay? But you spend an extra $10 for something that's going to stay around a long, long time. I used to be the realtor that would give a gift card. Listen, when that gift card is gone, so are you. Think about something that will stay around. A blanket with your logo on it, knife set. I know Cutco knives are really big in some areas. Something that they're going to use over and over and over, and it's going to keep that wow factor going for you for years to come. And this is the post-closing video that you're supposed to see that says, hey, we made it. Congratulations on your new home, or congratulations on your sale. As the CEO of the company, I realize you have many choices. Again, we're grateful you chose us. I hope that we've done a great job for you, and we've earned the right to ask you for a referral. I go ahead and set the expectation. So now when I start making those letter of the week calls that my colleagues talked about, it's not awkward when I say, Who do you know that needs to buy or sell? Hey, remember the day of closing, I told you, I hope I've earned the right for referral. Did I earn the right? Now you've programmed them for years and years to come for referrals. There are 3 reasons people don't refer you. Number 1, they don't think you need it. Because I'm sorry, fellow realtors, we are great about saying, oh my God, I'm so busy, I work 80 hours a week, oh my God, real estate's great, we're so good, we're so busy, I never get to take a vacation. And then they go, oh, she's too busy, I'm not gonna give her that little deal referral because she's too busy. Does that ever happen to anybody? And you run into them and they go, hey, we didn't refer our son to you because we know you're too busy and he was just buying a starter home. I don't know about y'all, but I gotta eat all the time, so I need starter homes and I need luxury mansions. Send them all to me, right? I want all of them, okay? So they don't refer you because they don't think you need them. Number 2, they don't refer you because you don't ask. We as realtors say, we don't want to look desperate. Let me give you a little hint. You are. You gotta eat. Your kids gotta eat. You gotta have a roof over your head. We love our big luxury cars in America. You're desperate. Move past the fact that you don't want to look desperate and ask for help. And the number 3 reason people don't refer you is they don't know how. We do a very poor job of saying, when you're at the ball field, if you hear somebody's by herself, send them to me. Or the next time you've got somebody new relocating into your company, if they don't have a realtor, can you send them my way? Or hey, Mr. Financial Planner, you meet with people all the time that have a lot of money. Throw me a bone. It's time we grow up and ask for referrals and stop chasing business. Listen, if you're using Zillow and Realtor.com and all that Commissions Inc. stuff, you're just buying your own leads back. They're your leads, folks. It's your listings that are on the MLS that are going to Zillow that they're selling the lead back to you. Go work your database. It's free. The phone is free. All right. After the closing on the 1-year anniversary of their houses, we're going to stay in touch with them. But more importantly, everybody has to file taxes. Here's a system that you can make happen every single time. Come back from the closing, make a copy of the HUD. Highlight the buyer or seller in which you represented in the transaction. Put them in a file folder in your drawer. January 1, when everybody's at home eating turkey, you pull out the envelopes and you address them for all those people that were in those HUDs. And you send it with a note that says, hey, I know you're going to be working on your taxes in the next 30 days. I want to help you out. Some of these fees are tax deductible. Have a great 2019. Your Realtor for Life, Kendra Cook. You think that's not a wow? You think some of these those people don't want to use some of those deductions on their taxes? Do they know where their paperwork is after they've been in the house 6 or 7 months? Easy, easy system. Call them every year on their anniversary. For 5 years. You want to wow somebody? Every year on their anniversary, put a recurring event on your calendar that says, call Mr. and Mrs. Smith, they bought 123 ABC Street on October 15th and wish them a happy anniversary. And you do that for 5 years, and by year 3, they're like, how in the world do you keep up with all these anniversaries? You sell a lot of houses. They're impressed. Because how often do people move, folks? Every 5 years. Some before and some after. If you're calling them for 5 years, are you staying in front of them? If you don't do anything else we told you today, how much does the phone cost? It's free. You're going to have one no matter what. Might as well use it. As we wind down, I want you to take 3 things. We are all about implementation. It's not enough that you came here and invested in your time, your talent, your energy to be here with your colleagues. But you got to do something. The knowledge that you gained today was free. How much did you pay to come here today? Nothing. It was a gift from Mid-America. Now take that, put some accountability around it. Pick 3 things that you're going to do from this segment and write it in your notes real quick as we round up. Anybody need more time? Everybody good? Okay. I want to give you a couple little tidbits. I want you guys to put this date on your calendar. If you like what you saw today, we're coming back to your town on August the 9th, 2019, and you get a full day of us. It's called our one-day sales rally. the Mega. Some of you have already asked me about it because you came to one 2 years ago. We want you to come back. We have an early bird special that will be coming out, so if you don't follow the core training on Facebook, go follow us. You'll start seeing these coming out right after our event coming up in November that's sold out. This will be our next one here. And then we have our big summit, $10 million and over producers can come to that event. Several of you came up and asked us about, I was going to skip this video and it's the one that works. The one I wasn't going to show and it's the one that works. So there you go. That's a little bit about the core. The last thing I want to say, and I'm ready for you guys to come back up, is you have a survey in your book. And Dayton and Rita and I all three take time away from our schedule to travel and speak for people like yourself. We need some feedback. What'd you like? What'd you not like? Are you interested in additional information? How can we help you? How can Mid-America help you guys? If you'll fill that in on your way out and give it to one of the ladies from Mike's group, we would greatly appreciate it. And now we're going to open up for Q&A. And I'll turn it back over to you guys. Thank you so much, you guys.
If you have a question, what I want to raise your hand, I'll run out to you, ask a question to one of the panelists here, and who's got a question, comment? It's Nigel Moore, I'm sorry.
So is the focus to build a team?
Not necessarily. You can do whatever you do by yourself. So the 12 steps, there's one step in there that talks about the team. But basically it's the systems and structure that we've talked about all day. You can do it completely by yourself. It's the scripts, time blocking, all of that kind of stuff. So it's not, there is one segment about a team. If you want to hire a team, then we can teach you how to do that, but that's not what the focus of coaching is. It's how to build the fundamentals of your business.
If I had $5,000 right now to invest and start a team, what would you advise in what area to start?
You want me to take it? You guys want to take it? We say of your first hire is an RP1, which is Realtor Partner 1. It's the admin. So a lot of us are sucked into the files, into putting stuff in the MLS, or calling for feedback, or updating the CRM or whatever. So we teach you to build your team. You're the team leader. The first hire is an RP1. To take all of that, printing your schedule, printing your call list, calling for feedback, putting those packets together, all of those things. So a lot of that can be done by a completely unlicensed person that just has some admin executive skills. So that would be your first hire if you wanted to know how we build our teams. RP1 is a Realtor Partner 1, that's your admin, and then the next person you would hire is a Realtor Partner 2, which is a licensed either buyer's agent or showing assistant.
My question is for Dayton. You had talked about the letters of the heart. Did you find them most successful mailing them out? Did you type them out and mail them? Did you email them?
No, you need to mail. It needs to be snail mail, so it's an envelope that they can open, branded to you. Yeah, you can augment that with an email newsletter, but that's just white noise. And so it just connects with them on a personal level. I've got a question. So has Mid-America earned the right to a greater share of wallet from you guys?
Yes. Great job, you guys.
Will you refer them the way you want to be referred? These are my go-to people. He's going to take great care of you. She's going to take great care of you. Don't argue with them. Do whatever they say. Right? That's the way we want to be referred, correct?
Yep.
So you got to refer the same way. Introduce them to a colleague or a friend that you think might be a good fit for them, so they can help grow their business. Give them a greater share of wallet. Refer them with value. And if you haven't done business with them, don't be a mooch. They gave you a lot. They gave you a lot of food. They gave you a lot of knowledge, a lot of information. Please tell them thank you. And thank you is an opportunity to earn your business and sit down with you for a cup of coffee if you haven't done business with whoever invited you to this event. So please give them an opportunity to explore your business. And guys, again, thank you for all the
Thank you
hospitality.
so much.
Wait, I got a question.
Oh, we have a question.
Your letter of the heart that you send that out every month?
Yes, sir. The letter of the heart goes out every month to the same population, the same 400 people get the evidence of success.
And wow. And do you hand address the envelope, or is a label okay?
No, it's a mail merge, so we can label it fine.
Because you don't feel like a label is too impersonal.
No.
Okay.
But the envelope's got to be decent, so it's got to be a branded envelope
With your return address on
with
it.
your brokerage, your return address, and so on. I used to have my phone number on my return address. So even if they didn't open up the envelope, they had my phone number and my email. I got a lot more opportunities from.
It's addressed to the husband and the wife.
Yes, absolutely.
The rest of the husband and wife. Guys, thank them one more time. team. Mid-America, could you please stand up one more time as you go and thank them? If you would stand up so we can recognize who needs to be recognized. We have sponsors back there, as you saw as you came in from the registration. Please go back and thank them as well. Supposedly, as you go through the garage in the hotel, it'll be up, the arms will be up, and it'll be free. If not, blame it on me. Guys, in closing, a couple of things. Number one, here's one of the great lessons. I'm going to give you 3 lessons. One of the great lessons I learned, unfortunately, it took me until I was having a hard time selling. That doesn't mean I didn't sell it. I did. I was selling my furniture, not selling my car. But guys, a couple of things. Number one, selling is a process. It's not a personality. And here's the biggest thing I can give you. Process takes pressure off the person. What you've seen today is process-based selling, not personality-based selling. Process takes pressure off the salesperson. Process takes pressure off the sales prospect. Find a process. Use what they're telling you to, because structure is going to carry you further in your career than personality. In closing, I was talking to Mike, of all the groups we've had, I can say without a doubt in closing, this group this morning, by far, has been the most recent. Guys, go have fun, make this thing happen, finish strong. Thank you for being here.